Hey, this is Chase Sexton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
Welcome back to the Vital MX MotoXpod show, presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. Guys, we're at the tail end of the season. The 2024 Monster Energy Supercross season only has one round left. Denver was not the most exciting race of the season. Glad you're paying attention, Scotty, over there on the phone.
I'm on the chat.
You're on the chat. Just calling you out because that's what I'm doing. But one race to go. 250 West points is tied up going into the final round. That is very exciting. The East has... between first and third, there's only an 8-point separation, I believe. It's really, really tight there. So the 250 class, very, very excited for Salt Lake City. 450 class, I think, is barring any catastrophes, is probably Jet's going to win the championship. I just don't see any other way that's going to happen. Kind of a bummer. I'd like to go into the last round knowing that something could happen other than a catastrophe, like that they could race it out and actually have somebody else win the championship, but it is what it is. We're going to have some fun talking about all that tonight. Before we get going, we have a special guest in studio, but first, as always, sitting in the quote-unquote producer chair, Scott Thompson, working the cameras, working the YouTube chat. What's up, Scotty? Damn, I already messed up.
Yeah,
did not unmute you.
I was gonna let you know earlier, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna
be a hell of a show.
I'm gonna sit here and wait.
How's it going, Scotty?
Oh, it's good now that I can talk. Yeah.
Well, maybe I did that on purpose because I didn't want you to talk.
Yeah, that'd be about par for the course.
We got some talking to do here in a little bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to our next guest, but we're gonna talk about her track and you and I riding. Mm-hmm. We had a couple laps together.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out of shape and you're slow,
we
so
had
it worked
one
out.
Lap together before you just had nothing left.
Yeah, it was more than one lap, but we'll talk about it.
We're going to get to that. But also in studio, very special guest. She is the Swan MX marketing manager. Is that what we're marketing?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Marketing and media manager. Her family recently, did my mic just come undone?
No, I can hear you.
Okay. Her family just recently bought Swan MX in the last couple of years. They've been doing a lot of additions and upgrades to the track. We love Swan MX. But in studio, Caitlin Moe, how's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing really good. Really excited to have you in. We're going to talk about your story here in a little bit, but recently, once they bought Swan, you started doing interviews at the track, interviewing locals that are coming to the track, and you have a passion for it. So yeah, this is something that you want to do.
Yes, it is. Since interviewing people from my track, I started getting reached out from other people's tracks, and I started going to another people's tracks. And
yeah, I saw you, I think at Freestone,
yes,
Oak Hill maybe?
Freestone, Oak Hill. I did a video with a drone with Area 51.
That's cool.
So that was really fun, but yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to get into your story here in a minute. We're going to talk about that. But first, Racetech for nearly 40 years, Racetech has been supplying the motorcycle industry with high-quality suspension components made right here in the USA. From modern to vintage, Racetech is your go-to source for
You've already punched.
This is going to be a rough
this
night.
Is kind
suspension
of a
performance.
Yeah.
Listen, racetech.com, you guys already know. If you're looking to have your suspension upgraded, fluids changed, you want to change your spring rates, racetech.com, you can find your local service center. You can more than likely find your local Racetech rep at the local track out riding. They can help you out. Call Racetech or go to racetech.com, find your local service center, get your suspension done. It's something that we neglect a lot over time. So Racetech will take care of you. They are one of the presenting sponsors. Let's get into the Racetech open discussion a little bit about the race that we just finished with, Denver. The couple things I want to highlight before we get to Caitlin is Joe Shimoda finally got a win. So I'm wondering if the email from Phil Smeltzer last week was right, where he's just laying back, man. He's just, waiting to the end. He doesn't want to show everything he's got. He went out and looked really good. Like nobody even contested the win. Good job for Joe. Hell of a night for Honda in general.
Yeah, they did about everything that they could do. So it was cool to see. I mean, like, unfortunately for Joe, this has kind of been his, what he's known for is late in the season when the pressure's off, he gets a win. It's like, I would love to see him if he could have that speed in the first one of the first 2 or 3 rounds, it'd be a whole different ball game for a championship for him. So he looked dominant. Like, I don't think any of the guys had anything for him. And maybe they were playing. RJ wasn't letting up at all. So So he ran the championship pace. Unfortunately, too little, too late. But it was good to see Honda have that win. I thought it was cool because in the media and you hear a lot of the Shimoda realist and all this talking about Joe not living up to his potential. Then to see that when he won, to see how the team celebrated, it was a big deal for them, and it was cool like that they'd been wanting that, and the mechanic was happy and the team was good. So.
Well, I think we have to look at the fact that, yes, this sort of has been a trend for him over the years, start slow and strong, but he's on a new bike. He's getting used to the Honda, and he's talked about that. Like, he's trying to figure it out. I hate to say it's a little unfair this season to say it's typical Joe, because it's not necessarily typical Joe. He's learning a new bike, and it takes time. We see that out of all the guys when they switch teams, trying to figure it out. But I think where we'll see something is outdoors. Is can he be competitive with the, we've already said like Levi, RJ, Hayden, those are like our favorites, and Tom Vial. If Joe can go up there and battle those guys and be consistently in the top 3 or 4, then maybe the opinion changed. So coming into 25, we go back to, can Joe win the championship?
I think if we kind of want to talk about outdoors a little bit, I'm super excited for 250 outdoors because it's been not really one clear fast guy. Yeah. Everybody's either coast. Everybody's had their weekend, and so there's not like there's one guy that's going to really dominate outdoors. So I think it's going to be up to the battles. What are you going to get when you start? If you start in 10th, you're not going to move up very much. So I'm excited to see how it goes, and I would love to see Joe use the momentum and come out, and maybe he's got some things figured on the bike. I'm sure they've been, since he's been out of the championship, that they've been doing some kind of outdoor testing.
Sure, they've done a little bit for sure.
So I would like to see how that translates, and he can do it. It's not that he's not capable, so I'd love to see it.
We'll see what happens as he's on Honda for another year and a half, basically. But just for our listeners and our viewers, we're going to get to Caitlin's story. We're going to be upfront that she is relatively new to the sport. Her brother's been racing for a few years. She just started taking interest in it like a year ago when she's found this passion for media. So we're not going to throw a lot of these topics at her about the current sport right now because she's still really focused on Swan and the local racing scene. So we're going to give you a little bit of break on these topics, but we're going to get to you in just a minute. Something else that stood out with the 250s Saturday night that I want to touch on was just in the main event, seeing Levi and RJ lined up side by side felt a little odd because typically two guys of that caliber, they're racing for points. They want a little space between them. And did you think that was odd or interesting at all when you saw it Saturday night?
I did notice it, and I was like, ooh, like what is this going to do? Yeah. But so here's a question: what do you think was more interesting, them lining up next to each other? Pretty much tied for the points or whatever you want to look at it, or after the Jet Jason incident, them lining up next to each other, because that happened the week after.
I think I focused on Levi and RJ for sure, because I even asked about it in the press conference, because my question was, I said, all right, both of you, who got the earliest pick? And RJ said, I did. So I said, okay, Levi, when you lined up next to him, that was a little strange. Why did you do that? Was it to mess with them, or whatever? And he said, no, I didn't want to line up next to him, but it was the only good gate pick left. The track was so butchered, the start, that was the only good spot. So he just did what he had. And they kind of touched on it. I think Ricky Carmichael touched on it at the start of the night, or before the race started. That was, it was interesting, but it was just, Levi didn't feel like he had a better choice. So he went with what he had. And we do have Nate Thrasher coming on. I didn't even mention that. Our guests tonight are Nate Thrasher, Privateer, Vinny Luhovey. I'm not sure if it's Luhovey or Luhovey. We'll find that out. And then Red Bull's Carson Brown, man. There's so many cool things to talk to Carson about. They're going to be on tonight.
For Carson.
Really excited about those guys. But I want to ask Nate Thrasher when he comes on about the attempted pass on RJ.
Attempted pass, attempted murder.
Let's see what he has to say about that. Yeah. So we've got some really good guests tonight. So there's not a ton of stuff I want to talk about from Denver other than what we talked about already, but going into the showdown, what are you most excited about? We have the tied points with Levi and RJ. Like, do guys on the other coast get involved that are teammates that are out of the championship, like a Daxton Bennett? Does he get involved anyway? And
yeah,
I mean, that's not with that coast, but with the other coast. Does Daxton Bennett get involved with Hayden and
yeah?
Vial?
Well, obviously the main story is Levi and RJ just tied, and like whoever doesn't matter if they're 6th, 10th, 3rd,
They have to
2nd,
beat each other,
They just got to
period.
beat
Yep.
each other. So that's cool. And then you have like, what's the scenario look like for the East Coast? Like pretty much, Danger Boy has to take out Vial, and Vial has to get like basically like 18th
I mean,
or
it's
19th.
like 8 points. It's only 8 points between 1st and 3rd, I think.
No, Vial's
more
got
than that?
Vial's got 15 on Hayden.
Okay, so it's higher than what I thought
Yeah,
it was.
because they went into the round.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Minus 15. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yep.
I think the other one.
Yeah,
the
no,
other
it was
coast-
tied. It was something else I was looking at.
Okay.
Yeah, minus 15. You're correct.
Yeah.
So that's it's basically Vial
does
has
that
to have a bad night.
does if anybody tries to quote unquote force Vial to have a bad night, does that involve RJ and Levi somehow? I mean, like, dude, like we saw in the last showdown, can't call them shootouts anymore because everything's PC, but we won't talk about that.
They all say shootouts, though. All the writers still say that.
I can't. I have to like stop myself to say showdown, but yeah, I mean, obviously the last one was just chaos, so there's no telling. Both of those guys those fields are so stacked that it really could, just start whatever happens in the first couple of T-bones, and everybody's gonna be going for it. It's the last race. I did kind of have one thing that I wanted to talk about.
Okay,
And
I'll allow it.
And we've talked about it before, and I get so disappointed when the finale of Supercross is at probably arguably the worst venue of the year. Like the dirt's not that great. The venue's it's
little.
a college football stadium. It's just I don't
can't
get it.
argue that.
I know that logistically it just works out that way,
Well,
but
it works out that way because the Salt Lake Commission or Sports Commission pays for it. It's a business.
Like I said, logistically it works out that way, but it's just
It sucks. It should be Nashville.
It's disheartening.
I've been saying Nashville for 2 years. That's my favorite city.
Well, everybody almost dies at Nashville, so that would cause something.
Well, at least they wouldn't get hurt till the end of the season.
Yeah, we go to all of like these iconic stadiums and cities and stuff, and then we end it.
I'm looking at like not only the stadium, but the celebration afterwards. Vegas was perfect.
We can go party with the Mormons or like what?
Yeah, you can't because by the time the race is over at 10 p.m., everything's closed in Salt Lake City at 10 p.m. No alcohol can be served legally after 10 p.m.
Really?
Yeah. You have to get lucky enough, like last year, or well, I didn't go last year, the year before, where you get I get a Monster wristband and you go to the Monster party and they rent the place out and there may or may not be
some bootlegging
alcohol there.
Yeah.
There may or may not be. But the fact is Salt Lake City is a bummer. You're right, for a final race. It is kind of a bummer. But it's a business, so that's why they choose it. It's probably not going to change. I don't think they're going to listen to me and move to Nashville. We just have to accept it. But I can't argue that it's not the best. All right. Yamaha Motor USA is also one of our presenting sponsors. A reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha's new 50th anniversary edition YZs pay tribute to a half century of championship winning performance wrapped in stunning retro style. So check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com. I had my Yamaha 450 Scotty at Swan MX Saturday for the organized practice. We did a bunch of 20s. I did 20s.
They were. How long were our practice sessions? 15.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, it sure felt like 20s.
Yeah.
My watch, no, that last one, my watch said I think it was longer than 15. My watch was over 20 minutes.
You know what? Because I pulled off right before they cut the practice, and like you went around, and then they waved the flag.
So I got an extra lap.
You got an extra.
Okay, 15s then.
Yeah.
I've been telling everybody I've been crushing 20s. I've been doing 15s. Damn. Way to blow me out, Scotty.
Loose on the term crushing.
But Swan was mint Saturday. We had some fun, you and I.
Yeah.
I moved to the B class, so I went out with you and the A guys, and we got to spend some laps.
I like how you separate me from the A guys. That's a big difference. No, you're right. Like you said, me and the A guys.
How did you feel Swan was? We're about to get to Caitlin and talk about Swan. You're starting to get back into riding shape, but yeah, we had a good time.
Starting.
I pushed you wide in the corner before the rhythm section.
Yeah. Dark side tried to
run you off
T-bone
the
me,
track,
and it almost caused me to not do the. Where the middle part where the rhythms after big techs and the
nobody
rhythm
knows
section.
anyway. So just
she knows.
Well, I know, but the people listening don't know.
But so that's that corner, and then there's that step up out of it, and I almost didn't have the line because he pushed me so wide, and I hit the track marker and still sent it, and it was fun. We had our moments.
Yeah, it was good. All right, so let's get to you, Caitlin. Your family bought Swan MX about 2 years ago.
No, a year ago.
Is it only a year ago?
Yes,
Wow.
it was.
So Swan is known as one of maybe the number one track in Texas.
Well,
it's one of the longest running tracks in Texas.
As I'm telling our guest that asked, who was with us tonight, it's the longest running track.
I thought
Texas.
it was.
Yeah.
Your family bought it and have put tons of money into improvements and bought extra land and put in a practice facility. But let's talk about you first. Well, your brother's been racing for about 6 years.
A little bit longer than that. But
okay,
yeah.
but you guys move here and start riding. You moved out here about a year ago.
Yes.
At that point, what was your history with motocross? Did you have any involvement?
Okay, so my little brother raced, and I would go wherever he raced, obviously. But at 15 or 16, somewhere right there, he had moved out of the house to go to Farm 14 to train, and then bounced around from some trainers. And then he was going to Swan MX a year ago, and my mom and dad happened to be visiting him, blah, blah, blah. They were like, okay, what if we bought the track?
At the time, Trey had been talking about selling it, Trey Klingfrost, so yeah.
It was at the Winter Series.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, it went up for sale, and my parents, they bought it. And I didn't know anything about really motocross. I mean, I would go to the races and,
Yeah, you didn't really follow it.
No, I did not. I didn't know a whole lot, but, since living here and obviously owning a track, I've learned so much, and it's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
A lot of work.
Yeah. And then what made you decide to start doing interviews? Where did that come from, and how is the passion kind of grown for you?
Okay, so I am a junior in college. I am in the marketing and advertising major, but anywho, I was here this last summer, and I was trying to switch it up, do something different in the industry, and we've never seen anyone do interviews and something
at the local
short,
tracks,
local tracks. And so I grabbed my camera, and I was like, let's go do a couple interviews, and our followers loved it, and then it started growing bigger and bigger, and I was like, okay, I'll do a few every race, and then post it out during the week. And I just grew a passion for talking. I love talking to people. I love socializing.
Yeah.
And it's been fun getting to know their story, and also learning along the way about their story and motocross. And
the sport, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because it is still new to you. So
yes, it is.
Yeah, it was really cool to get you to come in here and try to learn a little bit. And I've seen, I know you've had a chance to talk to Mike Brown.
Yes.
I think Drew Adams, you talked to.
Drew Adams.
I'm not sure of all the bigger name riders you've talked to, but you do a lot of just with local guys that come through.
Yes.
And try to give a little spotlight to your riders that come through.
Yep.
Now
I've seen them, and I think it's a very good thing to do, especially promoting the track. It gives people an insight of not just, hey, come ride our track, but hey, come join this sport. You've done a good job of talking to the people that are established in it. I've seen, we're here the first time with Little Junior racing, and so
Junior,
that's good. It's good for the sport, and I've always, I thought it was cool that you guys started doing that.
So with marketing and media for Swan specifically, what's your game plan? What are you trying to do? How are you trying to market Swan to get more people to come in? Because the transition from Trey, who's owned it forever, there were some loyal patrons of Swan that were just like, oh, Trey doesn't own it anymore, I'm not coming. So you have to figure out a way to overcome that. And your parents have done an incredible job doing improvements. But not everybody knows that just yet.
Yes.
So what is your goal? How are you working towards getting more people to come check out Swan?
So we did open up a training facility. So that's another thing. We have 2 families from Canada right now, and a bunch of other. We have Cade Johnson training with us.
Cade rips.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
he's been on. He's been
does.
on a couple
Yeah.
times.
Oh, really? Yeah,
He's a good kid.
it's been fun watching him, and like he's an amazing rider.
Yeah.
But we have a bunch of families all over in Texas, and also we just built a side-by-side track and a mud bog track, and then we're targeting that area because side-by-sides are huge here in Texas.
Yes,
I
they
hear.
are. Yes, they are.
And I've seen a bunch of videos of like the mud bogs and stuff, and it's amazing. So we're super excited to get that up and going.
I was gonna say I've been to one in Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah?
And it's like I was there and I was looking around and I was like, dude, there's got to be $1 billion out here. Just
Equipment.
like every single one of them.
A lot of money in that equipment.
Every
they're
single one
buried
of
in
them is
mud.
on like a $70,000 side by side
Yeah.
at least. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and we had an open ride day, a free ride day, and I believe his name was Lee Knowles. He came out and he had an extra seat in his side-by-side, and we ripped that thing around for like 20 minutes, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing I've ever experienced.
That's awesome. Well, that's cool that you guys are expanding and trying to get
Yes.
more people in. As far as the actual racing goes, the Pro Challenge is
Yes.
probably the biggest event that Swan has had for. This will be year 33, I think we talked about.
33rd,
33rd year. You guys took it over last year, made a couple changes. Some of the longtime patrons didn't love the changes. You guys are kind of going back, but talk about the upcoming 33rd annual
Okay.
Pro Challenge. What's the plans?
Okay, so we're going to switch some things up this year. We're going back to the 2-day format.
I think that's a big one.
Yeah, we were just trying out some new things.
Sure.
But I know we're thinking about doing a whip contest.
Okay.
Because
I'm out on that because I can't whip.
Are y'all gonna? Is that old freestyle ramp still there?
no, it's not.
Okay, probably don't send anybody up on that thing.
No, we're not gonna use a.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's funny.
But yes, a whip contest, maybe some mom and son or daughter pit bike race.
Oh, I like that. Team
And,
race, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, what is it called? A tug of war.
All right.
In the mud.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We have a creek going down the side of the truck. That would be so much fun. And we're going to probably give out away a little couple things this year. And yeah, there's a lot of new things we're going to probably do.
What's the dates on it this year?
The dates are September 27th, 28th, and 29th.
That's a really big event. If you guys are
Yes.
anywhere in the area of Tyler, Texas, a lot of big pros come out. Mike Brown. In the past, we've had Mike Alessi,
Kennard.
Travis Pastrana, Trey Kennard, Kevin Windham.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Robbie Rayner used to come down.
Villeman raced it
our
one
local
year.
Texas guys like John Short, Cheyenne Harmon. I think Grant Harlan usually comes out. So it's a really cool event. And there's amateur racing also. A pretty big purse every year for that thing. So the Pro Challenge is a big deal. But yeah, it's been really cool seeing what's going on with Swan.
Y'all's fireworks show at the last Pro Challenge was probably one of the coolest fireworks shows I've ever seen. It was like, because they've done that in the past, and it's like, oh yeah, cool fireworks, and then like y'all had everybody was like around the track revving their bikes, everybody was jacked up. It was a good time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's always one of my favorite events of the year, and I like seeing that your parents are like listening to people kind of go, well, what can we do to be better? Like long term, I would like to see Swan get at least an area qualifier. Eventually I think it's a national worthy track with a few things, they needed better parking and your parents bought a bunch of land to help with that. So down the road, Swan is a potential candidate for a national and it's cool to see. So, but back to you and media, we've got about 5 or 6 minutes before we got to get Nate Thrasher on. What are your goals? What do you hope to do? Like you're starting a podcast.
Yes.
Keeping it straight with Kate.
Get it straight
with Kate. Sorry.
Get it straight.
Yeah, there you go. Get it straight with Kate, and you're going to focus on riders in the industry. But what is your long-term goals? What do you hope to accomplish?
Gosh.
Have you thought about it?
No, I haven't. I'm just thinking
Me
about No, I'm just thinking about like how to get it started, and I'm just waiting for a few things to get done. I'm waiting for my video of my logo, and then I'm getting that started. But my next video I have in mind is how to run a race.
Okay.
And what
goes into it?
What goes into it, yes. And since no one I personally did not know how to run a race or what went into
Did your
a
parents
race.
know how to run a race?
No.
Exactly.
No. So I think that
Yeah.
would be very fun and interesting for a bunch of viewers and
Sure.
people who would, So yeah, that's what I have coming up. But
I've seen people trying to run tracks and like no sleep, like it's it's a lot. So yeah, kudos to you guys for giving it a shot, because it's not something that I like to go to them. I don't want to be on the other side of that.
If I'm being honest, I hadn't gone to Swan hardly at all for years, because every time I went, it was like riding on concrete, and I just didn't have fun there. And once your parents started listening, they were listening to other people, and they started ripping it deeper. They changed the layout a little bit.
Yeah, the layout is what
I've. It gets ruddy in spots now.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd like to see it get a little ruddier, but it was fun. I mean, the track was pretty good all day Saturday, and then unfortunately you got rained out for the race Sunday.
Yeah.
I say unfortunately, like I was smoked after Saturday, and when I woke up and it was pouring down rain, I was like, oh, I'm going back to bed.
Yeah. I was wondering how that was going to happen, but I would say that the layout now is what I wanted as a patron of Swan for my whole life. That's what I always wanted to happen. So the jumps are a lot better. It's got good flow. One thing I noticed this week is it used to always, like, the first practice it would be okay, and the second practice would be really good, and then the third practice it would be kind of already like done. But the track progressively got better. The third time
to get a little rough.
Yeah, the third time I went out was actually the best the track felt. So yeah, kudos to you guys for learning that. And your family doesn't your family do like construction? So
they have an excavation company.
Yeah. So they're good on equipment. So
they
they'll
got
figure
great
it out.
equipment for sure. And then we talked beforehand, like you're, again, new to the sport.
Yes.
You're starting to learn about the pro side. Like you don't watch every race. You're starting to.
Yeah.
So one of the guys says, damn, TJ really cleans up.
So I assume you're going to try to start paying more attention to that so you can talk about those things. And, and what do you, when you watch Supercross, like, well, actually, we'll wait till we get to our top 5 for that. Had a couple other things. Oh, what is your social?
Okay. It is Kate. Wait.
You don't remember?
I don't know what mine is too. What is it?
Yeah.
It's Kate
underscore or
Mo.
something.
But I think there's like extra E's in it.
3 E's. So it's KateEeeMoe.
Kate Mo. So yeah, you can follow Caitlin.
Yes.
And if you guys are interested and you want to find out when her podcast is coming out and check that out. Anything else about Swan that you want? I know you were on the phone with your mom a little bit ago. I want to make sure that we get everything in because we're really excited about it. And there's a lot of people, a lot of our listeners are in other areas, but we have listeners here and they come through, and I get asked all the time, hey, I'm coming through Texas, where should I ride? And I'd say 3 years ago, I probably wouldn't have even mentioned Swan. I would have said Johnsonville, and stuff like that. But now, like if you're coming through this area, Swan's definitely a place to hit. So anything else that you want to bring up or anything you're thinking of?
No, we are growing our training facility.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
So, I believe we opened this in September, November, and we started with a few. Now we have up to 20, and we have a bunch of people living with us now on site.
Are there cabins then? I haven't been to that site. Okay, where you say living on site?
Okay, so you know where the entry gate is?
Yep.
Right to your left side. You'll see all the campers all the way down.
Okay. So there's
RV
camping,
spots.
but no cabins as of yet. Maybe down the
as
road.
of-
But
yes.
Okay.
But we do plan on, this is in the works of building a gym and having a big having a gym in an area where you can hang out, watch videos, and so
Okay, like a rec area.
Yes, and a big shop so you can bring your bikes in there and you can work on your bikes and do little team bondings. So
Who's doing the training right now?
BJ Burns.
Okay.
You know BJ Burns?
I don't think I've met him, but I know of him a little bit. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to meet him yet. That's really cool though. It's a lot of, and what's the best way for people to reach out if they want to find out about training there?
Honestly, MX University, you can reach out to him or just call the Swan phone number or, DM Swan MX. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, we have our first guest of the night on, so we'll get back to Caitlin here in a minute. First guest of the night is going to be brought to you by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight seat foam. I've been testing a plus 25 millimeter taller seat on my Yamaha. I'm really digging that. But don't forget, they have complete seats for the Talaria and Super 73 and covers for the Sur-Ron and Segway. They strive to ship orders within 36 hours, so visit gutsracing.com and order today. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us from Star Racing Yamaha, Nate Thrasher. What's up, Nate?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing good, man. Just so you know, I've got my co-host in, Scotty, and we have Caitlin Moe in from Swan MX. She is interested in doing media, so she's going to be asking you some questions in a little bit. But how you feeling, man, going into this final round? The season's almost over, and it has been a very up and down season for you. When you look back on it, how do you feel about it? How are you satisfied at all?
I mean, it's definitely not satisfied. We had a lot of expectations going into the season, but yeah, it's been up and down, like you said. Just kind of need to stay off the ground a little bit more. But yeah, I've had some good speed. But yeah, we'll work on it and hopefully come out next year swinging. I was hurt all last year, so it's nice to be healthy going into the last round.
Yeah, that question came out somewhat negative, and I didn't mean it to, but you did start. You were injured last year. A1, you DNF'd. You just had a lot. Yeah, the mutter didn't help you any. You had a couple big crashes. You got red flagged in Glendale. So yeah, it was just. I wondered if you were satisfied with the riding by the end. I didn't mean that to sound quite so negative.
He always does that, Nate. He just goes straight to the point.
I always start negative and try to finish positive.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. I totally understand. I mean, yeah, A1 was going somewhat decent first race back and just kind of went down there and then about 5 minutes to go in like fourth or fifth. So, yeah, it was just a tough start. It's hard to get off to that start. Just same thing last year. I kind of crashed in the first one, did my ACL. So it's just two bad starts, but yeah, we're going to come out swinging in the outdoors. I think I've been riding really good, so it should be good.
Yeah, I want to ask about outdoors in a minute, but kind of still touching on the Supercross season. I mentioned Glendale, and then I think, Seattle, you had like a clutch issue. So mentally, when you know you're riding well and you came into the season feeling good, can you mentally say, okay, these things weren't like the mechanical wasn't really your fault. Everybody has a crash. Yours in Glendale was big. Do you kind of tell yourself, look, man, I know I still have it. I just just not going the way I wanted to. How do you mentally deal with that?
Yeah, it's tough for sure. But I mean, every rider, racer goes through this some years, coming off of injuries like the year before. I was hurt all year, just kind of trying to come back and find out where I'm at. And I feel like I'm in a really good spot the last couple weekends. We had a new bike this year. I was kind of struggling with it a little bit in the beginning of the year. Didn't have much time on the bike. First week I got back on the bike after being hurt, I hurt my hand. So I was out. Didn't start riding Supercross till almost late November. So it was on the back step going into the season for sure. But yeah, we were just trying to build every race. I feel like my fitness has been really good. Put a lot of training into that in the off season. So yeah, I feel like we're in a good spot. And we finally got the bike good. These last two rounds haven't really showed it. Was okay in Denver there, but yeah, it's just not quite my type of tracks, but I'm just trying to build on that.
Hey, Nate, with the, Star is known for doing their program a little different. They have all you guys riding together at the compound, and I think that's big for you guys. What is, do you think that that's kind of made you iron sharpens iron, like over the years? And how has that helped you in your career progress?
Yeah, for sure. It's helped a lot. I've trained with champions the years they've won them. And stuff like that, and kind of just learning what they do a little bit better than me. Maybe I do something a little bit better than them, just trying to get better in certain areas that I'm weak in. I'm just trying to get a little bit better each day. I feel like it helps a lot off the gate and stuff like that. We get to practice every day. They're good starters beside you. And yeah, just lap times, they're going to show up at the race and be good. So if you can be the fastest guy, you're in a good spot. Just a little bit of confidence boost, I would say. Riding by yourself is good in some ways too. It's just different, I would say.
Yeah. I was going to say, is it kind of hard to translate like a week where, like say you're whooping everybody during that practice week and you're like, obviously that's going to give you confidence going the weekend, or vice versa. You can't, you want to carry the confidence, but if you were on the other side of it, you don't want to carry that into the weekend. It's, it's got to be a little bit of a mental battle to get that ready for Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that. I mean, you just kind of got to be mentally strong in that aspect if you're going to train with a bunch of guys. But I would say training by yourself works for some guys, and training with people work for some guys. It's just kind of personal preference. I think there's negatives and positives to both. But yeah, for me, I think training with guys and trying to get the best out of myself every day. And even when I'm not the best, I know I'm going to show up on race day, so I'm not too worried about it.
Going into the final round, another showdown. What are your goals? What are your expectations? I mean, the goal is always to win, right? But I don't really want to ask about team tactics or anything, but like, what is your plan going in? Is it just to go out and is that the only thing you're worried about is trying to win, or, you know, what else is on your mind? That's a terrible question.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that's on my mind. I've won this race before, so I'm just going to try to go out there and do the same exact thing. I'm finally in a good spot off the gate. Kind of struggled with that. We've made some changes there, so this weekend was a big step in the right direction. My main start didn't quite go the way I wanted it to, but all three of the other starts were really good. So I think it's going to be good. I've got a good bike set up, motor package-wise, for Salt Lake that I've ran in the past, so I think we're going to be in a good spot. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You just mentioned some changes to get better starts or to help you with starts. What kind of changes have you made? Is it engine? Is it whether it be launch control type stuff? Anything like that? What was it?
Yeah, I've made some launch control type stuff. I've made some not so much on the engine side. Made some clutch adjustments and stuff like that. The engine's pretty much the same, but we'll make some adjustments for the altitude, like we did this weekend. But it'll be closer to our normal bike this weekend, so I'm excited for that. It's hard to go to 4,000 or 5,000 feet and know what we practice all week and try to do it, but this weekend should be a little bit more like the test track, so I think we should be in a better spot.
Okay. All right. Last Supercross question I really have is I want to ask about the pass attempt in the main with RJ.
You didn't think we were going to ask that one, did you, Nate?
No, I didn't think that was coming.
Yeah, just walk us through your side of it, man. I mean, it was. Look, I mean, Supercross is an aggressive sport. It was a bit of an aggressive pass, but just walk us through what you saw and how you saw it going down.
Yeah, I mean, we're there to win, right? He's there to win, and I understand he's in a championship fight. But yeah, I was trying to make a pass there, and if the roles were reversed, I knew he'd do the same thing to me. But yeah, my thing was I was up the inside, right? Mm-hmm. But he just held it on. I mean, I thought if that was any other rider, it's RJ, he's going to hold it on, right? If that's any other rider, they're probably going to let off because I had the inside line. But yeah, it's RJ. He made it happen. And we really didn't touch that hard, to be honest, barely. Just kind of caught my hand in the right spot. And if I wouldn't have let off, we were definitely going to both go down. So yeah, I knew last second I had to crack the throttle, but any other rider besides RJ is probably getting the pass done right there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just RJ. He's a tough guy to race, and he's really good. So yeah, I knew that track was very one line, very hard to pass. And I had to get around guys quick. I just felt like I had to make that choice there. If I didn't get around in there, I probably wasn't going to get around in the rest of the race, in which I didn't. Kind of set me back after I did that. But yeah, I just didn't have I felt really good the first couple laps that might remain, and was just trying to make a push, and yeah, didn't feel so good at the end, but yeah, was trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
I felt really good all day. Hadn't really felt that good in a while. So yeah, I was trying to go for it.
Okay.
That's a good point though. That was really the only attempted pass for a position that really mattered throughout the whole race. So
there wasn't a lot of passing.
You got to send it. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, the whole track, the way they're building the tracks right now, it's very difficult. They're building whoops with a flat turn after them. You can't get up the inside of anybody. And you're going to have to make aggressive passes. They're setting the track up for that. So yeah, I wouldn't expect, if he did that to me, I wouldn't have said anything about it. It's racing.
Yep.
There's a lot of money on the line, and yeah, we're trying to win.
Okay.
Hey, Nate, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Okay. How is it training at the goat farm? How is the transition from Supercross to motocross training?
Yeah. It's been good so far. I've done quite a bit of motos, but not as much as I would like. I'm sure everybody hasn't done as much as they would like, but it's going to be brutal. It's definitely a dig for sure, but yeah, I'm feeling good. I think we've got the bike in a really good spot. Honestly, I think this new bike is a little bit better outdoors than the previous year's model, just the chassis wise. So I think it's going to be a good year, and hopefully we can get ourselves some podiums and hopefully some wins.
Yeah, that transition is different from right. I mean, the guys that are in the championship hunt probably have done even less. I'm going to guess most of the guys have done less outdoor prep than you. Do you feel like you have any kind of advantage, or are you guys at the Go Farm all on the same program pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many guys in the like coming down to the end. You hear, I mean, Deegan and Jordan still have a chance, but they're quite a bit of ways out. So there's not that one guy, with the points league going to the last round or like 2 or 3 points back. So I think we've all been kind of on the similar program. I've rode a little bit more than some guys, but yeah, I feel like I haven't raced outdoors in a long time. So I don't know if I would say that I have an advantage.
Okay.
It's been a couple of years, but yeah, I feel like I'm in a way better spot. I'm just matured a lot and just built a lot of strength. I didn't race outdoors last year, and I've been solid outdoors, a 5th to 10th place guy. But yeah, I think that this year is going to be a big step. It's a lot easier when the 18 and is not out there in your class.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
What is your day-to-day schedule for prepping for the outdoors for motocross?
It's pretty similar, I would say, to Supercross, but off the bike. But I would say on the bike's a little bit different. I would say we're just doing longer motos, like we're just busting out 35s. That's pretty much all we do. We do some sprint stuff too, just to get the speed up, but it's mainly just 35-minute motos, just trying to get that endurance ready for these long outdoor hot motos.
Okay, so what do you do once you're off the bike? Do you prep? Do you do something before you start riding? Or do you do stuff after you're riding? Can you
Yeah, I'll do a warm-up in the morning, kind of when I get up, do some yoga, just get the body moving. And then we'll go to the track, do a riding, and then just depends what we have on the schedule. We'll do some gym. Some days, but not every day. We'll do it a couple times a week, and then we'll do a recovery spin after. Just trying to loosen up, get the body moving after, and get a little recovery session in with some physio stuff, and yeah, trying to get recovered. It's kind of tough during outdoors once it starts to get anything in because you're going to be so exhausted after the race weekend. But yeah, just kind of flushing everything out and getting ready for the next weekend.
Okay, so what inspired you, or I guess who did you look up to when you were a kid or right now?
Yeah, I don't really know who I looked up to. I would say Villapoto is my guy. When I was growing up, I would say he was probably my number one guy. But yeah, I'm pretty much into everything, every kind of sport. So just kind of wanted to do it. My brother raced. He's quite a bit older than me, but yeah, it's just kind of grew up doing it, and that's what I love to do. So
you talked about knowing the recovery day or recovery time, and the younger guys. I mean, you're a few years in now. I think year 4 in Supercross, so you're still fairly young. But have you noticed that it takes a little more recovery time now than 4 years ago, or have you not hit that age just yet?
I don't know if I've hit that age just yet. I'm only 21.
Sure, yeah.
I just turned 21 not that long ago. But yeah, I'm definitely noticing you got to take care. Even when you're a rookie, you're still got a lot of energy and stuff like that, which I do. But you got to take. I've learned what my body works with and what it don't. What I like to do, like the way I need to eat more and just. What I need to do on Thursday going to the race, what I need to do on Friday, just kind of when I like to fly, it's just kind of like all that, kind of helps the more you do it, and just kind of what on race day, what I like to eat, what I like to snack on, what works for me and stuff like that. I would say it's a big help.
Nate Thrasher tonight brought to you by Guts Racing.
Yeah, Nate, at the kind of earlier you mentioned, obviously the things hadn't quite gone as expected and as planned. With everything being the way it was with the 2 champions from last year moving up, and the field was kind of wide open, was that kind of a source for the pressure that you guys or the expectations that you had?
I mean, yeah, I was expecting, after last year, pretty much getting second on my side before I got hurt there. I was expecting, obviously to come out and win, but it's tough not racing for, say 8 months, 9 months there. So I didn't know what to quite expect. I was definitely not super prepared like I would want to be. Definitely haven't been more prepared in years past. but yeah, I mean, it's what we got to deal with. It's racing. I would have liked to have been, a little bit better. But I'm just been building. I think we're in a better spot now than we were when we started. So I'm healthier than I have been. Just now my injuries are feeling good. Body's feeling good. Takes a while to get over some of this stuff. Just not what they say you can start riding again, So yeah, I think it's been a building year for sure, but yeah, I'm still young and I think I've got a lot more to prove, and I'm just on the tip of the iceberg, what we can do. I just need to get a little bit better in some aspects, and I'm close. I mean, it's not like I'm super far off, it's just need to clean up some stuff and be a little bit better in certain areas.
Yeah, it is kind of frustrating because I've been off the bike for 2 years and I just recently started riding, and I get smoked just looking at the track. Like I'm already getting arm pumped before we even take off. So like but it is frustrating knowing that like, hey, I'm capable of doing this, but you're just not there yet, and you have to work. Like it's hard to just accept that, hey, I gotta get there myself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just like with anything, right? If you're doing everything every week, you're getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. That's what when you're healthy, that's what you can do, right? And like, if you can be healthy through the whole season, come to the next season, you're going to be that much better, right? You've raced all these races. You're just going to have that off season. You're going to be confident. You're going to know that I'm in a good spot. You're just building. It's just like toppling on itself. And once you get hurt, it takes a step back. Just like it's very hard when you get hurt to come out and swing in the next year, and not many guys can do it. So yeah, I think it's just I need to stay healthy and just get that toppling on itself, and I think I will be in a good spot for next year.
Nate, I believe you're 7th in points and 11 back on Juju Bomer. Does one more spot make much difference to you? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's no bonus for 6th, but does it matter to you, or does it really just matter to finish strong?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that matters to me. I would. If it was for the championship, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
For 6, not really. But I would just say for me, it's just to be on the podium this last race and finish strong. I feel like I've got the speed. We just got to go out there and execute. It's been a lot about the starts this year. I feel like more than years past. Just the way they're kind of building the tracks. It's not been, the whoops aren't as long, so it's hard to make up time, I would say, as in years past. So, yeah, it's been a lot more start dependent, but yeah, I would say just get a good start this weekend, and I think we've got the speed to win, and hopefully I can do it. I know there's going to be some championships on the line, so maybe those guys won't be going quite as hard.
yeah, a couple guys maybe be trying to ride smart.
Exactly.
It's hard to do in a showdown, though.
Yeah,
it's very hard.
You ride smart, and then you're getting smoked in the next corner.
Maybe we'll see. That's why I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm pins and needles.
I can't wait. What do you feel like you need to work on most in your career, riding or just overall, that you could be training? And what do you feel like you've improved on the most since you were a rookie?
Yeah, I would say the thing that I need to keep working on is definitely what's held me back. If I get off the gate good, I normally am pretty good. So I would just keep trying to work on that. And something that I've kind of got better at, I mean, just my overall speed in the stadiums. I've always was pretty decent. Outdoors, just kind of struggled with arm pump a lot. And even now, I kind of not really been struggling with that this year, which it's been awesome. So kind of got the bike in a good spot. But yeah, I would say that what I've been better at is just my overall speed in Supercross. We'll see outdoors. I think we're a lot better there too, but we'll see. In Supercross, I would say that it's just my first year. I was kind of quite a bit off the pace, qualifying and stuff like that. I would race good, just kind of come up through the field, and was able to win at the speedways, but wasn't as good in the normal stadiums.
Right.
But the last 3 years, I feel like I've really made a big improvement over the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, Nate, we have one of our listeners, Jeff Winnie, would like to know what are his long-term goals.
Become a champion.
My long-term goals?
Yeah.
I would say to be a champion in the next couple of years. I would think that would be the big goal. I mean, next year, that's the goal for me. I think I'm going to mentally in a better spot than I have been in a long time. And just, every year you race, you get a little bit stronger in certain areas. You get a little bit mentally stronger. And as you get older,
right,
you're just more mentally prepared, to go out there and do your job. And I think I'm in a better spot than I have been in years past. And even now, even coming to this outdoor championship. So yeah, I think that's for me is just to win a Supercross and Motocross championship, and hopefully get a factory 450 deal. I know they don't come easy, but that's my main goal.
There's more teams coming in though, so that's got to be looking good.
Yeah. I mean, that would be definitely a help. But some of these older guys will move on, hopefully, by the time I'm ready to go.
From what you've experienced, Nate, how would you give like advice to these little kids who are wanting to go, or not little kids, but who are wanting to go pro or to even start motocross?
Yeah, it's going to be a grind. That's what I would say if I was going to give any advice, but you got to love it, right? I would say I wouldn't do it if you didn't love it. If you're just going to go out there and not love what you do, I wouldn't race dirt bikes because there's probably going to be easier stuff you could do, but you got to love it. You got to want it, right? You got to have that grit, that determination. And that's what I would say if I was going to, that would be the biggest advice I could give is you got to love it, right? I wouldn't do this if I didn't love it. It's just too much work and too much stuff that goes into it. So that'd be my biggest advice.
Okay. When did you realize you wanted to like go pro? Like, have you always had a love and passion for motocross? Obviously you have, but like, what made you want to go to the next step, the next level?
Yeah, I wasn't very good growing up, to be honest. Didn't make Loretta's until I was 10 or 11 years old. Okay. So I just kind of always just like, dreamed of racing pro dirt bikes. And this has been my dream. From a small town, not many people get outside of that town. So yeah, for me, it was just, we put everything into it. My family put everything into it. Was away from my family a lot growing up. Just pretty much me solo at a training facility. So there's a lot that's went into it from them and me, and just trying to do the best I can. And yeah, I would say I was probably about, 11 or 12 when I knew that I'm going to give it the best shot I can, to go out here and be pro. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll go do something else, but we're going to give it a shot for a couple of years, and it ended up working out.
Okay. And like you said, with your family, has your family been very supportive? Are you guys close or?
Yeah, we're very close. They pretty much come to every race, and yeah, it's awesome to have them there. I mean, we've been through a lot together, and yeah, it was pretty much me down at MTF and Nario's and SOB and stuff like that when I was about 11, just by myself. They would come on the weekends and go back and work during the week. So it was definitely a busy life for them. So it's awesome that we can share it together.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So, well, Nate, since Caitlin brought up family, I was scrolling through your Instagram and I saw a post with you and your girlfriend, and you said, let's get married or something like that. Have you already popped the question?
Yeah, we've been engaged for about a year now.
Okay.
So we're going to get married in October.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I see her at every round, and she's a big part of your program from what I can tell and helping you out. So that's good, man. That, the home life, man, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. It wouldn't be fun if we could do it just us. You got to have somebody to share it with. So
absolutely. I love it.
That's what makes it fun.
Just a few more questions before we wrap this up. If I'm not mistaken, this is year 4 of your contract. I think the final year. Do you know what next year looks like? It actually was one of our Vital Forum questions from probably Dave. He wanted to know if you have any idea what color bike you'll be on 25. I think it might be a little early for that, but do you have any thoughts towards 25 yet?
Yeah, I'm pretty much settled for 25, but I don't think they've announced anything yet. So
okay,
I won't say anything, but yeah, I'll be, we'll see when it comes out. But yeah, I think we'll be in a good spot. Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm looking.
Nobody listens to us, Nate. You're good.
Yeah. You guys have anything else before we let them go?
Nope.
Okay.
Answer all my questions.
All right. Well, I have one more. I had a listener reach out like last week and wanted to know, this is just like a training question for all riders, and wants to know, when you pedal, do you use clips or flats?
Oh, clips, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's
Can't be a rookie. You got to get some clips.
Dude, I just started using clips, and I bust my butt almost every time because I forget to unclip, or especially on mountain bike riding where I live in the woods. And like yesterday, I came around a corner, there's a tree down, and that was it. I was like, I don't know what else to do, and I just fell over. So I'm still the rookie in the clips, but I agree though.
Yeah, I would say the clips just depends what kind of riding you want to do. I think if you're going like just more downhill, I would say flats probably wouldn't be a bad thing. But if you're going to do some climbing, you got to have the clips. I mean, it's just you can't pull as hard,
Right.
with no clip.
I'm learning that, but I'm still trying to figure it out.
I'd be out on that. When I ride my dirt bike, my legs are all over the place. So,
This is a bicycle.
I
bro.
hear you.
I know. Yeah. So tough transition.
Nate, before we let you go, Caitlin's mom, her family just recently bought Swan MX here in East Texas and Tyler, Texas. And her mom texted me and wants to know when you're going to come out and ride Swan MX as a guest. So, sounds like you have an open invitation to one of the best tracks in Texas whenever you're ready.
Okay, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a cool place. They do the Pro Challenge every year. And, I mean, like,
Kennard won it once.
yeah, Trey Kennard used to come down from Oklahoma, and then Mike Brown's here every year and just kind of crushes all the guys your age and makes
Where's he not every year?
Exactly, yeah. He'll come out and make you look bad, and then you're just like, you'll hate your life.
Dude, he does. He's like, he podiums it, and it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
Brownie's-
I don't know. Hopefully I can come out when I retire. There's not much time that we get to do any riding besides training or racing.
Yeah. Well, Nate, thank you so much for your time tonight. Nate Thrasher, brought to you by Guts Racing. Go out and give them hell this weekend, man. Salt Lake City, it's the final one. Let's throw down.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
All right, Nate.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
buddy. All right. That's Nate Thrasher tonight. Star Yamaha's Nate Thrasher, brought to you by Guts Racing. How'd you feel, Caitlin?
It was good.
Yeah,
It was good.
I think you did good.
Learned a lot.
Yeah. It was good.
My headphones keep going quiet. That's why I keep thinking my mic is coming unplugged, but
You're just
it's
old.
probably my congestion. I'm
It's probably,
still-
it's probably just your old ears giving out.
that could
on
be
you.
that too. That the hearing, dick. Why you gotta be? Why? You gotta
Hey, I'm only in my mid 30s and I already can barely hear it in my left ear, so it's not going
Hey
to
man,
be.
this old man worked you a little bit this weekend. With,
I got around you.
yeah, well, I looked over and let you go, and then I just stayed on your.
Let me go.
Yeah, you went around the outside, and I stayed behind
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
I ran it in on you 2 or 3 times. After the rollers, I ran it in
Yeah.
on you.
My arms may or may not have
Not my
been completely
problem.
pumped up.
Young buck.
Yeah. No, I
I
definitely
mean, I'm
like.
twice your age. I don't.
It's crazy like how much you lose because like I was riding like almost every weekend.
Yeah.
Like 2 to 3 times a month for 5 years, and then I just stopped and like I rode like maybe.
You want to
4 or 5
remind everybody why you stopped the last
No,
year?
everybody knows.
Caitlin doesn't know.
I'm not a mechanic. That we'll just leave it at that.
He left his drain plug loose
Yeah.
at Swan
I learned
and
that.
lost all his oil on the track and blew his bike
So
up.
what's even funnier is,
wow.
did y'all ever hear about how they did a free race, like kind of right
yes,
before
I
y'all
did.
bought it? So
Yes, I did.
Oh, was that before they got it?
yeah,
Did that happen? I thought it was when they
I
owned
think
it.
that was
No,
kind of
no.
like a bucket list thing of trade to do.
oh,
and,
that's
and when everything
right.
started going towards they were going to sell it, that's when he did it. And no, there's no such thing as a free race for Scotty. He ended up just torching my bike and cost myself like almost $3,000 when it was all said and done. But
Awesome.
So yeah. But anyways, like those muscles and riding seat time that you lose in that period. Don't tell your trainees to stop riding because that's when you lose it. You got to keep riding every day, and that's
Yeah.
how you get it back.
So I'm interested. While Nate was on, you like asked the question, and then you put your finger up. You had more. Was that? Did that come from listening to what he was saying?
Yes.
Yes. It feels kind of cool, huh? When you're like really listening, you go, "Oh wow!" It
Yeah.
opens up another line of questioning.
And
Scotty doesn't know how to do that.
Well,
He's the worst.
I used to always like when I first started in the show, I'd have I would watch YouTube videos and
Yeah.
pages and notes, and now like I try to have a couple that like an idea of a question, but they kind of just kind of happens naturally, and you think something, oh, I'm gonna ask that, and
Yeah.
yeah.
How's the YouTube chat so far? They digging Caitlin?
They're good.
being
Someone
nice?
said paid $5. Muppet paid $5 to said looking forward to framing a pic of Jet holding the legendary David Bailey's gold #1 blue background plate.
Oh, okay.
Priceless moment.
All right.
Yeah,
It's
he
probably-
paid $5.
Thanks, Muppet.
And then
$5.
we also got
That can go towards
do you,
pizza
do you,
for next
do you
week.
know do you know Jeff? Is that someone you know?
Yes, that's my uncle.
Oh, your uncle. Okay, yeah. He gave us $50. So thanks, Uncle Jeff.
Sweet. That's
Yeah.
That's pizza 2 weeks in a row.
You gotta
Thanks,
give some
Jeff.
to her. Yeah,
Hey, guys, just so you know, Scotty's fired. Caitlin's full time.
she's bringing in the big
She's
bucks.
bringing in more money, more revenue in than you have the whole 4 years you've been here.
Yeah. Hey, I've added them up over the years. I've got my.
I don't think so,
I've
man.
got my
Can you
my
prove it?
diehards.
Can you prove it?
ML has all of it.
All right, let's get to the X Brand Vital MX Forum Check-In. X Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including the 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, the 2023 National Hare and Hound champion, XC1 champion Dalton Shurry, 2023 AMA National Enduro champion Grant Baylor. The point is, most of the off-road champions wear X brand. That is by far the most grueling conditions that they're going to ride in. But also motocross and supercross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, Jerry Robin, myself, Caitlin's brother, Colton.
Yes.
He wears X brand. And then his buddies.
Bryson?
Yes.
Okay.
Bryson, I think, wears them. Mm-hmm. Yes. A bunch of kids at
there's
Swan wear them. But X brand, EKSbrand.com. Or go to your local dealership. Ask for X brand distributed through WPS. They are the best goggle on the market. Hunter Lawrence won his championship last year in X brand goggles. Just had an Alpine Star strap, but it was an X brand Lucid. Tonight, the X brand Forum Check-In is Racing Full Outdoor. Eli Tomac, Racing Full Outdoor schedule. That PR got dropped. I think there's been some discussions of that lately. We kind of knew it was probably coming. This makes the outdoor championship so much more exciting, though. Like, yes, Chase is a factor and can absolutely go out if he comes in full healthy and battle with Jet. But having Eli, another guy there, I'm much more, like, I would say I'm 75% more excited that Eli and Chase are both racing Jet than just Jet and Chase.
I would,
and it's not, I'm not giving anybody else any credit right now, but
there's going to be other guys, but it's going to come down.
Those are the main guys. I mean, hopefully Cooper,
because you don't have the bottlenecking that you have in Supercross, where if you get like 8th place start, the top 3 are gone by the time you get in to that 4th or 5th position. So there's more chances in outdoors for battling, I think. And another thing is that I don't know what level they're going to be able to get to. Chase is working on a new bike. Tomac's getting to the end of his career. But I went back and was watching some of that 22 season where they were,
where him and Chase were going at it.
I know Jet went undefeated last year, but they were not going that fast. Like it's
that question got asked. It's so hard to say.
I know, but man, dude, they were towards the end of that championship when they were.
Go ahead, finish. I interrupted you. Finish.
That pace looked insane.
But it didn't look like Jet was going as fast as he could. It looked like he.
Yeah, I know.
Who knows what he had left in the tank?
I would just like to see him have to be pushed to that level.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm getting at.
I am going to go into this outdoor season believing he's going to get pushed. I have to. I cannot accept that he's going to go out and go undefeated again or even close to it. It's boring. I need other winners. We need a good series.
That's a good question for her. Who, all the, you're like probably like the big sister of all the kids training at the track. Like who do they talk about the most? Is it all
Hayden and Jet?
Is it Hayden and Jet, or do they ever talk about the old guys? Or
yeah, nobody's a big fan of Jet.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, breaking news.
Hard take, yeah.
Swan MX doesn't like Jet Lawrence. Joking.
Easy.
Yeah, Hayden and Chase Sexton, my brother. That's my brother's favorite rider.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
My coworker Lewis Phillips, who listens, I think is probably listening right now. He's a big Chase fan. Changing subject. Chase gave him his birthday. Happy birthday, late birthday, Lewis. His birthday was Saturday. Chase Sexton and RJ Hampshire both gave him jerseys for his birthday.
I'm not allowed to ask how old people are. I've lost that privilege.
Lewis is 19 years old.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But yeah, so they're okay. So Jet are not Jet fans so much. That actually surprises me.
Is there any theory of why?
I'm not sure. I've never.
I feel like the girls like Jet a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is that a yes? Like you think you like him?
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I think he's a gorgeous man.
All right, here we go.
Would you have you?
I told Amber because she didn't have a favorite. And I was like, pick somebody. Most women that I know, they pick him because he's cute or they like his gear. I don't care. Just pick somebody so that you'll have somebody to pull for. And she picked Kenny.
Did you not try to talk your parents into y'all doing the Jet and Hunter experience?
Oh, jeez.
What is that?
They have like
a fan experience at the races, but it's like $1,000 or something.
I think it's more than
that.
that.
You can hang out with the boys.
Oh no.
She'll get there. She's starting to.
Yeah.
She'll interview him one day.
Yeah, one day that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like Hunter. I like Hunter.
Yeah.
More than Jet. Hunter's kind of, I don't know. We like the same music and Jet's fine. I don't dislike Jet. I just like Hunt. I like Hunter.
I think it's just like I like Jet. I think obviously he's a young kid and he's done some things. Everybody, when I was 19, 20
fine.
years old, I was making way worse decisions than Jet was. So it's the little things that people try, and now we're in a social media world where everybody hangs on certain things and stuff. But like, it's just everybody's kind of. I think it's like he's about to be dominant, and like I don't think people want to see that. So
That's my issue.
Yeah,
I didn't like. I love McGrath, but I didn't like when he won every single
like when
race.
You go back and watch like the Carmichael Stu era. It's kind of boring. Like he's like, okay, they're going to get either first or second. It's like so. I think that's why maybe some of that animosity comes out. But you can't hate the Lawrence program, what him and his Jet have done, and the hard they've worked for what they've got. So yeah, I try not to hate on it, but I definitely want to see more competitive racing.
Okay, let's do the Barnett clutches. Clutch performance of the week. Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off with promo code VITALMX, all caps. Everybody's going to burn up their clutches eventually. You're going to go through them every 6 months or so. When you go get yourself a new set of clutches, get the best. BarnettClutches.com and use that promo code VitalMX to support the show and VitalMX. Were you about to say something? No? Who's your clutch performance of the week? Who you got?
I've got to go with Levi. He didn't know what his ribs were going to be like. Luckily, he had that week off to kind of prepare, but I didn't really know what level he was going to be at. And he did exactly what he had to do. So, that's what I'm going to pick. Levi Kitchen as my clutch performance.
All right. So I've got two. I had two that I couldn't really decide.
He makes his own rules.
What? Yeah, I do. Caitlin didn't have one, so I'm gonna pick one for her. How about that? My first one is Paul Jonas getting his first MXGP win in 6 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, really. He got third in Moto 1, second in Moto 2, did what he needed to.
Dude, that track
Prado, I don't know how many times Prado went in to get to the goggle lane and fell and just.
Is that that's got to be like top 3 worst mudders
It was pretty gnarly. I mean, Hurling's,
because it stopped raining, so it just got nasty.
Hurling's, I guess blew the bike up or burn up a clutch.
That was in the first moto.
Yeah, in the first moto. So, Paul Jonas, and I know Lewis is a big fan of Paul's, and it's just cool, man. You can tell how excited he was, how excited the team was. He did what he needed to do, huh?
I like that name.
The plural for the first name, I do too.
Forever, I thought it was Paul S. Jonas.
No.
And that's just how he said his name.
Yeah, no, it's Paul's Jonas. That's going to be my clutch performance of the week, and then Caitlin's is going to be Geyser. I'm watching like Supercross.
Good pick.
Saturday night, and then I'm kind of doing other things Sunday. I wasn't watching the GP while it was live, and then I see that Geyser has the points lead. I'm like, oh my God. How the hell? Or actually, Caitlin sees that Geyser has the lead.
She had an alarm set to make sure
figure
that
out how this happens, and it happened because Prado had some issues. But Geyser, first of all, went out one qualifying, and then salvages a 9th in Moto 2 after going down, and just a great ride to now be plus I think 15 points in the lead over Prado in MXGP. Pretty awesome, man. I mean, I was kind of thinking it was over. Like Prado's just going to run away with this thing, and it's not. We still have a series.
I mean, there's so many races. Like it's
It's still very early. And again, vitalmx.com. Go to our podcast feed. Lewis did his MXGP review, I think this morning. So you should be able to find that. That stuff. The MXGP review is always fantastic. It's going to be up. There's going to be a lot. I think it's an hour and 45 minutes that they talked about this race, and apparently Toy Story. I haven't heard it yet, but Lewis was telling me about it. He was comparing the MXGP riders to characters in Toy Story. So I
got to tune into that.
Yeah.
They used to call me Sid in high school because I was buzz cut with braces.
All right. That should be. Anyway, go check it out. So that's going to be good stuff. Trying to think of it. I got a couple other topics I want to get to. What's the next big event at Swan? What's coming up? What series are you most excited about?
All right. Okay. So our next race is at the end of the month.
Yeah.
We have our first vintage race.
Oh, there you go.
So we're pretty pumped for that. We had to reschedule because we got flooded a couple weeks ago. Like, oof. But and then following that, just our Lone Star series. That's our bread and butter. We're getting ready, and we're super excited for this season. So,
So I actually you may not have known this, but I used to bartend in Tyler, and I had a patron come up one time, and I asked him what he did and stuff, and he was a clay artist, and he moved to the kind of like the Swan area.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
you said van. I was like,
no,
he lived in a van.
I was just thinking of like
nobody outside of Texas.
I was thinking of Van Zant County.
Yeah. I'm with you.
He
All right,
moved
I'm with you now.
He
Van,
moved
Texas.
to that area, and I asked him why, and he said, second to parts in Brazil, this area has one of the richest, purest clay deposits in the world. So he moved here because of how good that red clay is. So it definitely does not like a whole lot of rain, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure y'all have learned that, and it seems to be like all week it'll be perfect weather, and then Saturday comes, it's like, all right, here's the rainstorm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good area. So I'm going to do as many races as I can out there when I'm not on the road for Vital. So yeah, hoping to get some more racing in. And of course, then also on top of that, Moto Master Series. That's the other one that I want to keep doing.
Yeah.
Getting as many gate drops as I can. But Loretta's is coming up. So
good luck.
Lots of good stuff. But our next guest of the night's on the line. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Blood Lubricants. Do you think all oil's the same? Well, it's not. It's a little bit like food in that you can have all the same ingredients, but a great chef will make something that knocks your socks off. Blood Lubricants was developed from over 40 years of knowledge in the oil business and is used by racers in the most grueling motorsports on the planet, including Baja, NASCAR, Indy, NHRA, sprint cars, motocross, supercross, and many more. Blood Lubricants has a reputation for lasting longer than other brands and is known to keep your bike running up to 30 degrees cooler as long as you leave your drain plug in. Visit Blood Lubricants, B-L-U-D, Blood Lubricants, and use that promo code VMX25 to save. Tonight, Blood Lubricants brings us the privateer all the way from Pennsylvania, Vinny Luhovey. Vinny, what's up, man? Am I saying your last name right? Luhovey or is it Luhovey?
Luhovey, everybody gets that wrong most of the time.
Well, we'll get it right now. Luhovey, what's great to finally get a chance to meet you over the air. This is the first time I think we've ever talked, but really great to have you on the show, man.
Yeah, man, I just want to say thanks for having me, and I just want to do a quick shout-out to Luke Kemmler. He was an old pro back home, and he helped me get on here, so big shout-out to him and you guys.
Absolutely. Your story seems pretty cool from what he told me. You made a couple main events this year, and you have a full-time job doing concrete work. Is that right?
Yeah, it's true.
Hey, it's training, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I definitely should have been in a couple more mains. I just coming into the 250 class. Obviously, as a privateer, you're like, okay, what's a start going to be like? And because you get pulled a lot on this factory bike, so I got pulled really hard. And then, but at the end, I got a little bit better starts, but still, like the last race wasn't very good. But I just managed to wiggle up through. So, speed was really good. It's like I said, the starts were just off.
Hey, Vincent, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. How did you feel making the mains this year? How many? You made 2, correct?
Yeah, I made 2.
Oh my gosh, how did that make you feel after making those 2 mains?
Yeah, like I said, I wish I was in more, but it felt really, really good, especially to get the last 2, because it was like a consistent thing where like getting bad starts. At first, it was like qualifying good, being like, okay, just get the start, and then just getting pushed out, and then being in the LCQ and not executing the start and being way in the back and having to almost just like be smart and not try to push from last to get a mid-pack finish to, sacrifice getting cross jumps and stuff. It was just, it was frustrating, but it felt really, really good to get those last 2 mains, especially the last one at the home race with a lot of people back home there.
Yeah, I bet that one was special.
Yeah, it's the LCQ races are like, I think a lot of people kind of take for granted how gnarly that is. Like you see every once in a while a factory guy has to go into it, and like they want nothing to do with it. Like the pressure and what you guys go through in those LCQs, it's, man, I don't want my heart rate to go up that high.
Yeah, it's intense, and it's funny because most of the time I'm in the LCQ, besides one, I was on the bubble. I'm in 4th, but I figured out a theory. It's like you if you get 7th or 8th in the heat race, they don't really say nothing. But boy, if you're in the LCQ, you get all the TV time. So it was funny that my one sponsor, Donnie, he was like, maybe it's a strategy to get into LCQ to just try to get the TV time. And I'm like, that's actually, it makes sense though. It's funny, but no, you do not want to be in that situation. In the last lap, I was breaking my neck looking back. Like, I'm not one to look back, but like in the last lap and your fourth place CQ, you have to look back because it's like,
someone's coming.
That dude's going to come in and just totally clean you out. So
yeah,
it's wild, but I was able to and it was good.
Yeah, that's like your best friend or your brother in the last LCQ will kill you for that one spot. Like there are no friendships. Everybody understands that it's do or die, and everybody's life is in jeopardy in that LCQ.
Well, it was crazy because that like my second to last one, but it was my first main I did. I finally got up in front. I made the pass for a lead, and when I made the pass for a lead, it ripped my brake line off, my rear brake line. So once I got about 2 corners later, and I did like a pump on the brake, and I felt it like something was off, and then a turn later, I almost blew the whole bowl turn because the brake was gone. So I'm like, I passed my dad. He saw me looking up out in the air off the triple. I thought I was hoping I had a rock stuck in there or something, but I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, this is just my life. But I was like, whatever, I'm used to it. This time I put my head down. I just rode the front brake everywhere, and it was crazy. It's
privateer life, man. I want to ask you about that. There are different levels of what we call nowadays, quote unquote, privateers. There's, Team Solitaire. Technically, we seem to consider a privateer. You don't have that kind of support, right? You're doing it out of a pickup or a van. I don't know, on your own. You said your dad's there. Talk about how difficult that is for you, what your program is, working a real job, concrete work. I assume you're actually doing the concrete works, which is very labor intensive. You got to recover, you got to ride, you got to train. Just what's your program look like?
Yeah, well, we can go back first on that first topic. You talk about privateers. So, you see all these satellite teams. You call them, privateer guys, and we always laugh. We're like, okay, if Club MX and these other guys are privateer, then what are we? What are we? You know what I mean? You start laughing. But it's the deal is I have a couple of really cool smaller sponsors, and where I'm at with them is I have enough sponsors to help me cover my events, give me a couple of bucks for gas. But at the end of the day, I still have to go to, work during the week to get the money to keep going to these races. Cause it's not like, you're not making $1 million on the weekend to make the main or anything. So it's like, it's hard because I try to manage, training and work because the work destroys you. My knees are already messed up. I can't do leg press. I can't run. Just because from riding and the concrete, it really does destroy your knees and your lower back. So, it just depends. I try to get in the gym a couple of days a week. And, in the past, I've always just put myself down under because I'm trying to work out, train, work, ride. And then you go to a race and you have to drive all the way there and everything. And, you're just dead. You make it there and then all of a sudden you're just gassed. So, over these past few years of racing pro, and just getting more time in, and my dad helping me out. So we'll get the job board and I'll help him straight edge it and everything. Once it's good, he'll be like, all right, you can go. And I try to get home and ride. You know what I mean? So it's we do, it's just me and him. We do, we're not doing ginormous jobs. He tries to, be smart with everything, and we do little by little, but, I'm just trying to make it work. I truly believe I belong on a team, and it's basically just trying to build my own little program to get to as many races as possible, be as fresh as possible while getting as much training. So it's been a process, but trying to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, I used to do some concrete work, so even if it is a small job, just trudging around in that concrete, it wears you out. It is hard on the knees, so anybody that hasn't done that kind of work doesn't understand. I worked for a company that 1,000-yard pours and stuff, but even if it's, 10, 15, 20, or 20 yards of concrete, that's a lot of mud to drag around to come along, and it'll wear you out. It hurts so hard on your back, it's hard on your knees, like you said. So, I guess it's a hell of a workout, though.
Yeah, definitely. That's like I have that extra grit though, like late in the motos. For one, I don't know what arm pump is. Never will have that from doing concrete ever.
That's
awesome. Yeah, I'm just I've been called like the digger and stuff. Like you'll see me late in the motos and an outdoor. You know, I won't get the best start, but I'll just keep creeping up, coming because, you know, I don't know. I just have that dog in me, and that's just how I've always been. And I just, you know, it's true. It's like from the concrete and trying to do it all, it just kind of made me just like, it just gives me like that inner just like drive to just keep pushing and almost like enjoy it in a sense.
Awesome.
Okay. So I did a little research on you. Not a little, but probably a lot. Okay. I noticed that you're a singer-songwriter.
Yep.
Okay. So what made you come out to being like a singer and a songwriter? Like,
where'd your passion for music come from?
Yeah.
Well, my dad's always downstairs drinking a beer or wine and jamming the radio and working on my bikes. And he's like, dude, check this out. Turns it up. But, and I also go back to like me and my best friend from school. He taught me how to play electric guitar when I was like 10. And then, after my mom was yelling at me for a few years down in the basement blasting electric, I ended up getting an acoustic because we like country too. And then, just did a couple years of that. And then a couple years ago, I just started writing some music, realized I can actually do it. Just been having fun with it, getting it recorded. Just haven't really been able to get it out there too much, but, it's pretty decent stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Try to get some more. I came out with my first small album, and yeah, it's cool. It's hard to try to get a band together and all that stuff. That's a whole other thing. It's just like racing, who you know, and everything like that. But it's fun though. It's one of my passions for sure.
You're gonna have to tell Phil to let you do the national anthem.
Oh yeah.
So could you see a future in singing?
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I think I'd recognize. And I didn't get to make the Nashville run up. I really want to. If I can go down there, go to one of the places, start jamming out, show Morgan Wallen what's up. But,
that's awesome.
No, it'd definitely be awesome.
It's pretty interesting how many musicians there are in the industry. I mean, Adam Intonap, Seven Deuce Deuce did his rap stuff. Daniel Blair had a band. AP plays and sings a little bit. Justin Hill has put out albums. I feel like there's a couple others that I'm even forgetting about. So there's a lot of
Bogle had a rap career.
Justin Bogle did some hip hop stuff. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how many people are into music as a side hobby or side interest.
Well, I mean, when you're racing when you're doing one of the hardest sports in the world, you got to have something to go to and relax and whatever. So at the end of the day, like I said, it doesn't really take time away from anything I do. It's just like at the end of the day, just go on the porch or whatever and just relax and just rate stuff and have fun with it. So I feel like that's how everybody else kind of did the same thing.
You mentioned a couple of your sponsors a little bit ago. I want to know, how does a guy with your type of program, how do you get people to help you? Because there's not going to be a big return on investment for your sponsors. It's probably very unlikely that they're going to maybe even get that money back, right? But they're helping you because you have a passion for it and they probably believe in you or like you. So how do you go about approaching somebody for help?
Well, I had a sponsor or two. I definitely feel like I've definitely give them a return. But a lot of other sponsors, it's just people I've known, grew up racing with, and like maybe their dad's like somebody I race, and just basically it's just like, you know, a couple people, and they just see how hard I work. Like I said, they see me since I was little. They see how dedicated I am. And it's basically just no crazy contract or anything. It's just them just like, hey, you know, I'll reach out to them and say, you know, you're interested in still being my sponsor for outdoors. And, you know, it really also, you know, helps if I perform. Like I had, you know, some TV time, whatever, LCQ and stuff like that.
Sure.
Like, man, you know, it just shows, you know, everybody that's helping right now, they know my background. They see how hard I'm trying, and it just, they're just nice enough to continue to support, and I really appreciate everybody that's been helping me.
Good for you. Vinny Luhovey brought to you tonight by Blood Lubricants. Go ahead, Caitlin.
What was your highlight from this season?
From the Supercross?
Yes.
I I think the highlight definitely would be the leading the LCQ and my brake line breaking off, because it was just one of them things. Like, you got to be kidding me! Like, that was my time. Like, I wanted to really. I told my dad, I was like, if I get to start, I want to make a statement and finally get some clear space and pull away. And then for that brake line to go, and I was just like, all right, God, I know you like to make it harder, so let's do this. So I every triple I downshift and let the clutch out, let it drag, and just ride the front brake. And that track was all 180s, fourth gear through the whoops into 180. It was crazy. So that was definitely the highlight. Because what was crazy was I didn't even have time to enjoy it, because as soon as I got off the track, I had to borrow a whole entire brake line system, whole brake system. We had to take the wheel off, and I barely made it to the gate. And so it was a whole ordeal, but that was definitely the highlight.
Who helped you out with the brake line?
So I went over to Firepower, and they had like half the system, but I still had to attach a few things I wouldn't have had the time. So I went back, and Tyler Stepik, he's somewhat closer to me. He was like, "Hey, I heard about your brake," and him and his brother went over and they pulled his off my bike. I took mine off and we swapped it. And I flew down and just made it. So big thanks to them again for that.
That's sick. Privateers helping privateers, Firepower helping out. Our industry is rad. Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to being around it for a little bit in the pits, and you look around, you see all us privateers trying to make our way. Some people got kicked out trying to fundraise some money and stuff, which is I think a little messed up. But we're all trying to get there. We all have the dream. We're all trying to make our way against those factories. Yep. And just everything that it comes with. I mean, it's, as a privateer, not just facing just a guy in a factory bike that gets to ride constantly. It's like the press day, all this other stuff, all the insights, people are racing every Friday. I go there and I'm watching everybody. I'm racing, ride the track. There's just a lot of things nobody fully knows about. It just makes it harder, but that also just gives me the drive. And I turned into Evel Knievel after the Supercross season, because I go out there and they have about 2 20-minute sessions. I go out there for my 8 minutes and I jump everything first lap, trying to make it 20 minutes.
Right.
And my dad, we were doing track walk. My dad's like, "Wait, you're supposed to jump from there and land down that?" I'm like, "Yep, I had to hit that second lap." So he sees me out there just totally sending it. I've already bent a couple rims and stuff. I'm out there just launching it, knowing that if I don't, then, going into qualifying, it's over. You know what I mean? But it's just wild. But like I said, it gives me a lot of confidence riding my small track outside. It's like 50 by 100. I got like 2 30-foot doubles. Yeah. I made like 6 whoops. And for me to come off of that, riding it maybe once during the week, to going to Supercross, qualifying, and then fighting for main events, it just really makes me, know like, man, like, what would it be like if I, got to ride constantly and just got to put all my time into this.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me. And because I'm, like I said, I really want to get on a team, and I feel like I'm 24 years old. I got the experience, and I'm stronger than ever and everything. I just really working for it. And it's easy to get lost in this industry, because you're really fighting for those top positions, but there's a lot of bikes you got to beat, and there's a lot of people, and far away. I'm out here in PA, and I live in PA. I'm from PA, live in PA full time, and it's like, you go there, places, you do well, you come back, it's like they forget about you. If I lived in Florida or California and I rode all those tracks, locally, and things may be different, but kind of stuck here right now.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about your track, because I saw on an Instagram video, I think it was, that you did, where you talked about that doubles, how you go from that to a full-blown Supercross track and actually can blitz whoops, or how you transition that quickly, because it takes a lot of time for most guys to go out and ride that week in, week out before they can go to a race and really do it well. And then I'm sure your equipment is not, you probably don't have a practice bike with Supercross suspension and a race motor, and like you're very what's the word I'm looking for, Scotty? Like underdog, very much an underdog opportunity, and still making mains. It's pretty incredible.
like I said, definitely underdog. It's just like, I have the one bike. That's why I'd ride like once. Race fuel is expensive.
Yeah.
Like, I swear I would ride like one time, and I would try to do it like Wednesday. That way it's a little bit closer to the weekend. But what I did with my track is it's small, but like if you make a mistake, you fall 30 feet onto the road or you fall off the cliff. So you got to kind of get that heart rate up somehow. I don't have the big giant triple on off.
Yeah.
But I have, if you go over the wall, you hit the road. And if you bump 2 feet to the right in the whoops, you go in the pond where the frogs are. So it's like, you know what I mean? You can't, we call it the Ninja Warrior course.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So, I mean, I can say, though, from riding, small time, last year I went to Chilitown in the fall, and I beat the arena cross champion in a arena cross race. So I was like,
that's Scott Plessinger's
maybe
place.
I should get this.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I should.
We just had Scott Plessinger on. That's Scott Plessinger's place, right? We just had him on last week.
Oh, yeah. That's where it was, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome there.
Very cool.
Chili sounds good.
Yeah, I know. I'm hungry now.
Hey,
Go ahead, Scotty. Sorry.
We've been talking about the privateer life, and like your track sounds gnarly, and like how you kind of have to build the mentality to send it, and it it just kind of everything that we've been talking about makes me think of Hardy Nunez. So you probably had some run-ins with this season, and he's kind of made himself a consistent main guy, but he's made a career and known for himself for being that guy. So you're on that path. And have you had any, like, what do you think of him and how he sends it, and have you had any run-ins or experiences with him?
No, I haven't had any run-ins. I try to keep my distance a little bit, just try to stay smooth, but he's definitely a aggressive rider, and no, I haven't had any run-ins. I was near him though. Like he got the start and he got away in that LCQ hours, and then I made my way up. But I remember seeing him, watching him, I think at Minios years ago, and then on like 85 or something. I think I was maybe one up a class, but never really ran into him or anything. Never really got to talk to him personally, but he's definitely a sender, definitely somebody you don't want to really be around in LCQ, and it's just kind of like I know him and a couple others have that send it mentality.
Yeah, who else is some low-key guys that are kind of like that you're like, earlier you were talking about if you're in fourth place, you're looking behind you, who's coming, like who do you see that you're like, yeah, there's gonna be a tire there for sure?
I want to say like anybody really.
Yeah.
I feel like anybody that's there, even if you're not an aggressive person, you almost kind of have to just take a shot. I mean, it's just what it is. You're there, you came all that way. A lot of people can't relate to the feeling, but it's like, man, it's like the opportunity is right there. That's how you feel in fourth. You're looking in the white flag. You're like, man, I just got to hold this guy off one more lap, and that guy's like, I want to kill you, man. So it's like I feel like anybody. I don't think anybody's specific, but anybody's gonna go in for that, and you see it in every race. Like any people ghost riding bikes, like and doing anything in that last corner.
So I assume you're doing some outdoors this year?
Yeah, as of now, I just got done signing up. Every year I'm like, man, it'd be really cool to make it to California, but I mean, as of now, I don't have the sponsor funds to drive. Well, it's like almost 3,000. It's like 3,000 miles or something crazy out that way. I've never been out there yet, but as of now, I signed up for Colorado. It's a week before my hometown. I always normally start at High Point, but it'd be really cool to hit a race before High Point to get like one round in. But as of now, I'm signed up for like all the East Coast ones, pretty much Colorado. So I always wanted to go to Washougal, but obviously that's super far too. So, but it's weird because it's kind of like PA dirt. It's got that hard base. I feel like I'd be really good there, but we'll see how that goes. But it's just, obviously super far. I got my 2006 little Vanny Dodge Spreader.
Oh boy,
he goes like 65 at like 3,000 RPM, but he gets really good gas mileage. But we had I got him for $6,000, and my dad did a lot of surface Russ fixed up on them and painted them with a 4-inch roller with direct metal paint and some rhino liner, and he turned out pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But he's been pretty good for us. I bought a small travel camper, and we've been pulling that and saving money from, all those hotels, being able to just pull in and stay. It's been a huge help. But that's what I'll be pulling around these nationals. But yeah, so far I think I'm signed up for like 7 out of the 11.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's awesome to hear that you're going to be able to make it. Like I'm a big guy of the run what you brung. Like Darkside's all like, he's like a media guy now, and he gets all of like this stuff that he gets to test and this cool new gear.
Dude, it's just gear I make fun of you for.
I don't match, and he like always gives me crap because I'm like, dude, soul riding, man. I'm out here. That's all that matters.
Listen, Vinny, Scotty shows up to the track with Fox boots,
I'm there,
fly gear, and a Troy Lee Designs helmet, man. Even a privateer has more pride than
that's
that.
what I got, dude. I mean, he's like, you don't think he wants a brand new van, but no, he's rocking the 06. That's what he's got. No, it's not.
It is. Come on, dude. Would you do that, Vinny? Are you going to show up at a national in 3 different brands?
No, I always try to match. You got to look good, man. You got to look good, no matter what.
Yeah, I actually have an email for the ethical emails that is actually on your side, Scotty. We'll get to that here in a little bit.
Sweet.
If you need gear, I'll hook you up with Trumax, so it'll get you good.
There you go.
Well, it's not the gear. It's not like I'm wearing like a blue jersey and like green pants, and
it doesn't matter. You can't wear Fox boots and fly gear. You can't.
All right.
It's against the law.
You already got the Fox boots. I wear Fox boots now. You just need the Trumax gear. You'll be dialed.
Okay. All right. Hook me up, man.
I got 2 more for you. One of our Vital Forum members, 9Bro9, wants to know how gnarly was Epstein Barr and pushing through it while racing outdoors last season. I guess you had Epstein Barr?
Wait, what was that?
Did you have Epstein Barr last year when you were racing outdoors?
Oh yeah. Wait, you talking Lyme disease?
Maybe that's what he meant. Yeah. Did you have a health issue last year?
Yeah, well, I was feeling really bad for a couple months, and I didn't know what I thought I was just run down from trying to maybe train too much or what. And then I did a couple rounds, and then I wasn't feeling good at all, and we went to Southwick, and on the way to Southwick, I didn't feel good. And I remember my very first lap in qualifying, whenever the track was flat, my legs were like shaking. And like, I felt horrible. And, I ended up qualifying that day, but in the first moto, I took off, and like, I was just like, I've never felt like this before. Like, I couldn't even stand up, and I finished the moto. And then actually, of course, like the worst I ever felt, and like way past heat exhaustion, like there was just something wrong. My bike ran out of gas on the top of the hill right when I got off. Thank God I got to the top of that big hill at Southwick. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right by all the fans. I got to the top, and then I grabbed onto the side of some guy's side-by-side, and I had to hold on, and then he pulled me all the way back. But after that race, I knew there was something wrong. I only did like 2 laps of the second moto, and I went to the hospital that week, and they were like, no, you're not, not dehydrated or anything. And I ended up getting Lyme disease, like stage 1 Lyme disease. And I had to take this medication for a couple of weeks, and it was crazy. After I took the medication, I rode like for the first time like a month later. It was it was like me all over again. Like I rode all day that day. I was like, oh my God, like I forgot like how good it felt, because you don't really realize, it just slowly just fatigues you. And I remember riding, like trying to ride during the week, I'd do a couple laps and like I was tired. Like it was weird. Like whenever I would do qualifying, I would do 1 sprint lap at the nationals, and I was completely like gassed. I'm like, what's going on? Am I just like nervous or something? Like something was off. But that was terrible, and I have to keep an eye on it because they said it could come back, but I haven't felt anything since. But it was bad. It put a huge dagger right in the middle of my season, and I don't recommend racing with Lyme disease in the middle of summer.
No, that's definitely not the ideal situation. Well, Vinny, man, it has been really cool getting a chance to get to know you a little bit, and we appreciate you taking some time. And I'll definitely going to be keeping my eye on you through the nationals, and just when you do the East Coast rounds and the ones I'm at, I want to come by and say hi, man. Meet you face to face.
Yeah, for sure. Stop out. Me and my dad, and we'll be chilling. And I'm gonna do my best this summer, and just keep digging, and try to get some points, try to make a name for myself, and just keep digging, and hopefully something happens. But I appreciate the opportunity to have me on this podcast, and just big thanks to everybody that's been helping me out, and thanks again.
Absolutely. So if you guys want to follow Vinny or even reach out, maybe give him a hand. His Instagram is the letter V, Luhovey 437. That's Instagram. His YouTube channel has the same name. And then his music account is V Luhovey Jams, Jams. So give him a follow, give him some support. Scott, you got one more thing?
I was. Is like High Point like a local track for you, or is that kind of far? Are you going to have a hometown crowd there? Or?
Yeah, High Point's it's like an hour and 20. I get to ride there. Like this year, this will the only time I'll be racing there is the National. But it'll be my hometown. I always have a good bit of people there.
Cool. Yeah, we'll look for you there to rip on that one, man.
Definitely. Well, Vinny, thanks so much for your time, man. It's always a really cool pleasure to talk to the privateers. I know you guys are the backbone of the industry, man. And without you guys, there's really not much of a show. We need gates filled, and it's, riders of your caliber get underappreciated for how talented you actually are. So thanks for coming on and talking to us tonight.
Yep. Thanks again, guys.
All right, Vinny, take care.
All right, see you.
Vinny Luhovey, brought to you tonight by Blood Lubricants. Always cool to get to know somebody new. So that was fun, man. What'd you think? Either one of you got some thoughts? I thought he was good.
Go ahead, Caitlin.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Wow. The Lyme disease.
It's hard to remember to stay on mic, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just fine. Don't apologize. We all do it.
Yeah, the Lyme disease. Oh my goodness. How scary.
Right?
Gosh, and to bounce back like that is crazy too.
Yeah, it's kind of another subject, but like they say that a lot of the reason the tracks are deteriorating the way they are is because they're not able to put lime anymore because it was giving guys that. So I've never had anything quite like that. I did have mono before, and just for like 2-3 weeks, like you can't do anything right, and like I couldn't imagine trying to make mains and stuff like that, feeling like that. I'm out.
Dude,
I get a cold and I'm like,
you couldn't even get around Swan more than one lap.
Yeah.
Your mom wanted me to ask you about playing in the mud.
Oh.
What's that about? Did you go for a swim in the mud hole?
So when it rains at Swan, when it rains at Swan, all the boys, the training kids and I, or just the boys, will go down below Big Tex or into the creek and just like get into the mud. The mud's like quicksand. It's crazy. And you'll just like jump into it and you'll come up to your hips or to your shoulders. It's insane. So
good times though?
Yes. They love doing that.
Awesome. All right. We're going to do the troll training top 5. Riders such as Grant Harlan, Jeremy Martin, Henry Miller, and Jason Anderson. Podium again for Jason Anderson. My teammate. Troll training is the culmination of a combined 3 decades spent in the trenches of the professional sports scene, refining training methods, learning, absorbing, and training alongside some of the best in the business. Alex Martin and John Wesling have expert guidance in helping you navigate the many nuances of training, including periodization, endurance, strength and conditioning, riding technique, on-the-bike structure, nutrition, and more. Visit trolltraining.com. There's multiple packages and options. I use it. I got my workout in this morning. I did 2 yesterday. So Troll Training's been helping me kick Scotty's ass at the practice track. It's been good. Hey man, dude, I'm gonna take it while I can.
Dude, like first of all, I don't want to hear that you let me by, because dude, I railed the outside to get around you.
You went by me on the inside. I've got I have it on GoPro. I watched it.
I passed you on the outside of the main.
You passed me on the left.
Yeah, going into the inside, but it was on the outside. I passed you on the straightaway, and then I was inside. Anyways, yeah, okay.
I have the GoPro.
Just give me a couple.
I watched it. You passed me on the left on the inside corner.
No, going into the corner.
Okay, go ahead.
I set up the pass going on around the outside by the stands.
All right, man.
But anyways, just give me a couple months. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, you're probably going to be better, but I got you right now. And I definitely got you conditioning-wise.
Yeah, I've got about
because of trolltraining.com.
Yeah, I got a solid 2 laps in me. That's about it.
Troll Training Top 5 this week is Top 5 Motocross Innovations. Next week will be, Caitlin and her mom will love this one, things that annoy you at your track.
Oh wow, yeah,
That'll be next week. We'll save that for when she's not here.
Yeah, you should have done that one for her.
I also want to remind you guys, MotoXpodShow@gmail.com is our email. If you want to get involved with the Troll Training Top 5, the EVS picks for Salt Lake, or for the next round, this week is Salt Lake City, the ProX highs and lows. Anybody who wants to get involved, send us emails, questions, comments, critiques, MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. And I also need to mention that VitalMX does have a fantasy league. Sign up, join the MotoXpod Show League, play. I did not write the winner for this week's round down, but he's getting, I think, a Race Tech certificate for a free shock rebuild. So some cool gifts.
So, poor table.
He's going to get us $60 freaking socks eventually all the way in Australia.
Guys over here getting their shocks rebuilt.
Hey, man.
He can't even get his socks.
He'll get some socks eventually. What are your top 5 motocross innovations?
I guess I kind of, at first I was like doing them as like bike innovations. And then I kind of just thought about like there's just sport in general.
Yep.
So I did like the bikes becoming water cooled.
Okay.
That was, like I've ridden some air cooled bikes and then it's not the same. So definitely I can't imagine what they were like before then. Fuel injection, like those, they've definitely like figured it out now with everything being like ECU and the timing, like riding a modern bike that I have now compared to what I grew up on, it's not even close to the same thing. No. Like it really allows you to customize how the bike feels for you. And I think that's like a huge innovation for the sport. I would say how the tracks are prepped now.
Okay.
Like everything's deep and like it's loamy. You look back in the day, like it was really weather dependent. Like if it was dry, like if it wasn't much rain, then like the track was going to be like a dust bowl or a bone dry. Like even when you go watch some of the professional races, like back in the day, like they were supercross races were super dry, and now everything's like rutted and stuff. So I think that's progressed the sport as well. I'm going to say training facilities.
Yep.
The fact that that's a thing now, we saw it in the SMX where the kids in the 65s were doing the triples. And there's a kid, I think his name's like Blaze or something like that rides out at Swan.
Blaze Robinson.
Yeah, on an 85. Like, yeah, he rides the big bike practice and he blew by me on an 85.
Oh, I saw that kid. Yeah,
it's like, dude, like these
pisses
kids,
me off.
These kids are way too, like they're so fast.
Dude,
like,
at TTMX last year, I went down there to Texas Tornado, and there was kids on 65s past me in straightaways. Like, that's not possible.
Yeah, no, it is. Like they're carrying, like these kids coming up. Like I'm actually excited to see what the sport looks like in 10, 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
Because like the training facility has come a long way. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And then the last thing was kind of two different things. Both revolutionized the sport. I would say the scrub and the backflip. Like that kind of happened around the same time, honestly. Like the backflip and the scrub came out when Stewart came in, and those two things have like redefined how we looked at the physics of bikes, like how it worked. Now you see it in the MXGPs where they're scrubbing now. That used to not be a thing then. So I'm going to say a backflip and a scrub kind of changed the way we looked at the physics of the bike.
All right. So my list is the electric start. I went with fuel injection also. I went with injection molded lenses and goggles. Love that.
Explain.
You don't know what an injection molded lens is?
We'll explain why it's such an innovation.
Because it's a wider field of vision, easier to change out, and more clear.
Okay.
But mainly it's just easier to change out. Changing the old school lenses is a pain in the butt. The monoshock, going from dual rear shocks to monoshock, that was a big one. And electronic mapping, because they were able, thanks to Chris Kiefer and his help, I was able to get my 450 mellowed out much more closer to a 350, so it doesn't scare the hell out of me.
Well, it's interesting because you had, we were out at Swan this weekend, and one of our buddies went and rode your bike, and you have it mellowed out, and he said it still hits harder than his new 450.
His brand.
Yeah, I just said his 450. Yeah. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, and it's mellowed. Like Kiefer was like, that's about as mellow as we can get it. But when I first got it, it was scary.
Yeah,
it was hard to hold on to. So mapping for me. Caitlin, you don't have any MX innovation so much, so I wanted you to give me your top 5 things about moto that you like, what you're interested in, what stands out.
Okay. The dedication that some of these kids put into the sport is unbelievable. Like, You don't see that in basketball or football.
And young kids.
Yes. Like, oh my goodness. We have kids. My little brother moved out of the house and was living at a training facility. Like, that's amazing at like 15 years old. So I think that's, unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's not like a regular sport. It's completely different. There's no ball. It's like you learn how to
Well, there is that joke. There's 2 balls.
Yeah.
They hurt when you hit the gas tank.
Well, you mechanic, and like not a bunch of kids know how to do that.
Yeah.
But the kids that do, it's like it's super cool.
Right. I kind of always say like anybody can go out and play a pickup game of basketball or baseball, but not any kid can just go ride a dirt bike.
No, you cannot. Also, the adrenaline and the suffer factor, where you're just pushing through. Got one more lap, you can do it. So that's another one. And then last but not least, it's very intimidating. It's a very intimidating sport. But yeah, those are my 5 things.
Can you ride a dirt bike yet? A pit bike?
Yes.
Yeah.
My first bike was actually a Yamaha 230.
Okay.
Yes. I rode in the trails, and then now I have a Honda 125. It's my dad and I's. We'll share it.
Sure.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. That is the Troll Training Top 5. Feel free to send your top 5s in, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. We can read them next week. Now we're going to move to the Evans Coolant emails before we get to Carson Brown. Evans Waterless Coolant. You okay?
The chat, dude. The chat's good.
Go ahead. What we got?
We were talking about like there's takes 2 balls.
Yeah.
And Garrett said
Garrett Rockley.
He said, dang it, Scotty, you're correct. Dad did his XR 200 tank with his eggplant emoji at Diamond Dawns a few years ago.
Oh boy, way to go, Garrett. Evans Waterless Coolant protects your engine.
I wouldn't pop that dent out. That's legendary.
Because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, and Pro Factory Yamaha, and lots of other teams, regardless of sponsorship. Evans is in the bikes on the podium. Vital MX has I have a industry insights coming out with the vice president, owner of Evans Coolant this Friday. So look for that. John Light. Evans Coolant emails. All right. Jason Henninger. This is actually, I think, a general topic, but I have a couple topics I felt might be worth discussing or hearing your thoughts on. I'll start with Firepower Honda, the Firepower Honda team. Max hinted on the podium about how it has been a couple good years with his team, and they have deserved this one. And I've heard the rumors of him in Star. And Dino is retiring from full-time racing. Where do they turn for replacements? And I don't agree with Max making this move. Just seems like Firepower is a good home for him long-term. Did I read this last week? This sounds really familiar. Is it still my phone?
I actually wasn't really listening.
Okay, great. So how are you going to answer?
I'd have figured it out.
I think I asked this last week. I think it's just still on my phone about Max leaving Firepower. Should he have mentioned it, that he might be leaving?
I don't think you mentioned it. I don't think you said that.
I feel like we talk. Okay. All right. So he says he's heard that Max might be leaving Firepower. That is a rumor, and maybe more than a rumor. And Dino's retiring from full-time racing. Mm-hmm. So he was kind of asking where replacements would come from for Firepower. And I think I did talk about this last week because I've heard that team might be going away, but I hope not. But let's answer the question, where would they go for replacements? Well, there's plenty of other guys that are without contracts. Yeah. I mean, we just talked to Nate Thrasher. He's got a deal signed. Could be with a team like Firepower. I mean, I don't know that, but
I mean,
there's guys like that and guys that just haven't been. Romano hasn't really done much, so if they let him go, guys like that could end up at teams like Firepower.
Well, and I think that I would say that it'd be tough to see them fall away at this point because they finally got a rider like Dylan. Yeah, and so to have a team
that's not Firepower.
Oh, I'm getting confused. That's Phoenix. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. But it's a similar style team.
Yeah. Yeah, I messed that one up. Anyway, okay. So somebody will take that ride. A guy like,
if they stick around, they'll get somebody.
A guy like that we just had on Vinny. Like he would. I mean, he's. I don't know if he's quite there.
Yeah, I would say not.
But there's going to be guys like that would take that spot all day.
Sure.
So
I mean, look, a team like Firepower wants a guy that I'd say at least top 10 is what they're looking for. But there's going to be guys like that looking for rides.
I always get them mixed up. Firepower and Phoenix. I've done that before.
It's all good. All right, here's your support. Kyle Joyner.
All right.
I got to throw out some support for Scotty on the non-matching gear. I've always bought whatever was on sale and spent the saved money on stuff that matters, like new tires and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee I've never lost a race because the guy ahead of me had matching gear.
Thank you.
Also, in the off-road world, I definitely feel more threatened by the guy in my class with the worn-out mismatched gear than the guy with the brand-new matching kit.
Dude, I saw
Keep rocking the mismatched gear, Scotty.
Heck yeah.
Whatever, Kyle.
The chats, of course, has got my back on this. It's like he's got a good point though. I've seen a dude in Wranglers with the worn out part where his skull can sits in his back pocket.
Yeah.
Go and whoop everybody. So
Dude, Trey.
I was about to say
Trey used to come out once a year at Swan and destroy everybody in a flannel and jeans
one time
and work boots.
People were like were complaining about the track or something like that, and he pulled out a bike with like
a busted ass bike,
like a Kawasaki front end, a Suzuki rear end, and flannel and work boots, and smoked everybody.
Sure.
Yeah, it was.
Look, man, it's really just me making fun of you.
I know, but it's you're not the only one.
I'm not gonna go buy mismatching. Like I'm not gonna go buy Fox gear boots if I'm not gonna wear Fox gear. But whatever. I just like making fun of you.
My parents like 4 or 5 years ago offered to buy me boots for Christmas. And so I found a good deal on Fox boots.
I say I have some boots, some new boots you could have, but you wear like children's size.
No, I don't. I wear size 9. That's about right.
Women's size.
Not women's
there
size
you go,
9.
Kaylin. Give me 5.
Fair enough. All right, I'm going to keep rocking mine size 9.
Kaylin is locked into the show. Yeah. All right, we'll let you go. But he's right about the off-road guys. Dude, I raced at Paula when I first got the 125 from Kiefer, and this dude lined up next to me with like no goggles. It was an old freaking helmet, like no visor. His freaking eyebrows were so bushy, they were like sticking out of the helmet. His gear was jacked, and that dude made me look bad.
I like his point though, that like, hey, nobody's ever beat me because of their gear match. Like that's a very solid point.
All right, let's do one more, and then we got to get Carson on. As a matter of fact, I have 2 questions for the show. This is for Carson, so let's save that. Phil Smelter says Hunter doesn't get the props he should. He basically taught Jet how to ride good. That's poor English, Phil. It's well. But anyway, he basically taught Jet how to ride well. He's the guy Jet has always wanted to be, and Jet is always humble to Hunter. Do you feel like Hunter doesn't get the props he deserves?
I think on like the surface, like from like the media and stuff, maybe not. But I feel like people that know the sport, know the family, and have followed them growing up know that, and their dad said this multiple times, that if Jet didn't get better from what they learned from the mistakes that Hunter had to learn the hard way, then they wouldn't be doing their job correctly. So I say that his time's coming. Like them going 1-2 this weekend was a big step to that direction. So he'll get the recognition he deserves.
Yeah, and I think he gets a lot of recognition. It's just Jet's winning. That's just the way it is. But our next guest of the night's on. He's going to be brought to you by FXR, which is designed by racers for racers with industry-leading fit, finish, and performance. Progression is the name of the game. With every new piece created, at FXR, we push our brands to the next level to provide you with the best product possible. Used by the Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha team, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and many more. FXR has core roots in moto. Visit fxrracing.com or go to your local dealership and ask to see the complete 24 line. Tonight, FXR brings us Red Bull's Carson Brown. What's up, Carson? What's going on, man?
Hey, boys. How's it going? I'm ready to talk some dirt bikes and have some fun.
I am ready to talk to you, dude. I've been trying to get this thing together, and we keep missing each other because your schedule is entirely too busy.
Yeah. We've been kind of all over the place this last year or so with the Red Bull crew or whatever, and we're having a blast the whole way, kind of getting to do a little bit of it all, whether it's, two-stroke racing or off-road or, hitting the national or whatever it is. We're having some fun.
Dude, yeah, and I love watching the videos, and we're going to get into all this stuff. I find it really interesting. Like, it seems like you were really known for racing pit bikes and just racing anything almost, or riding anything and ripping it. And you've made a career out of riding all kinds of bikes and doing these different videos. And I'm kind of interested. When you first started racing and you decided to go pro and you did some national, did you ever think that your career would sort of lead to where it is now?
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I just absolutely love to ride dirt bikes. And, we turned pro, and all that stuff, and was having an absolute blast racing, and, was really enjoying it. And I was still riding a bunch of off-road and pit bikes and everything behind the scenes, and, having tons of fun with everybody. And, we did Supercross. So last year I did that. I, got a season, or a career best finish of 5th in there. And, I talked to Red Bull guys after Straight Rhythm, and, they were just like, hey, we love what you're doing. We know that you love to ride, all sorts of different bikes and everything. And, kind of went that route, and it fits perfectly with what we're doing, because we're able to do a little bit of it all, riding vintage bikes and new bikes and 2-strokes, 4-strokes, big, small, and working on them in between. And, honestly, it's been super great.
But in 2018, I believe 18 was your first year as a pro. What were your expectations in that year? What did you think you were going to do in 18? What did you think, the future was going to look like then?
Yeah. So as far as then, I just kind of wanted to get my feet wet. I did amateur races and all that. I did Loretta's a few times and everything, but compared to all the other guys, I hadn't raced that much going into it. So kind of the expectations were, just let's get out here, let's get our feet wet and see what it's all about. And, it was pretty good, the first year, of course, it got pretty beat up and everything, like all these amateurs do, thrown into the pros and all that. But it was fun. And, we had a couple good rides in there. I think I only did like a couple nationals that first year. Didn't really know what I was doing, and blew up a bike or two. And, it's all part of the game, just trying to learn how it all works. And it's so different compared to amateur racing. You go to a national, and it's like, the schedule is so different. When you eat, and your, practice is so much more intense, and, 230+2 motos, it's just trying to find a regiment more than even racing,
Absolutely. Yeah. It's, it kind of sometimes takes a little bit of the fun out of it, maybe.
Yeah. It definitely is completely different than, a local race or something like that, because, you have to be so on point. Like, if you're off a second in practice compared to what you should be, then, your gate pick's going to be way back, and, your day can go pretty sideways real quick with one wrong move. So, there's a fun and element in that, and trying to learn it all and getting all your ducks in a row so that you can have some good finishes and everything, because it's so hard to get it all aligned.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Caitlin.
Hey, Carson. Let's go back to Red Bull. Since being a part of Red Bull, how has that opened up for you, or how has the doors opened up for you?
It's been really cool, because I've been able to travel around. So not just like being on the Supercross circuit where you go to the race, you race it, you're out of there. With what we've got going on now, we can go in there, kind of communicate with everybody, see how the whole scene is. And I just love the whole dirt bike community. So it's been fun kind of seeing all the different types, whether it's vintage or new or whatever it is. And being around those people, because the racing scene, as far as Supercross and that, it's only so big. And outside of that, with these off-road events and everything, there's so many people doing it that are, outside of the Supercross bubble. And it's really cool to kind of see that. And, there's the guys out there riding XR 200s, and there's, they're not watching Supercross every weekend. It's pretty cool to, be out there with the true moto guys that are just doing it for fun.
Mm-hmm. And you ride all kinds of bikes, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Anything under the sun that has two wheels, I'll rip.
And what's been your favorite kind of bike to ride?
I love 90s and 80s 125s, like CR 125s. They're kind of my favorite go-to, just because they're so fun. They had the geometry so good on those even back then, even for today's standards. So those are really fun bikes to ride.
Depends on the day of the week, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, whatever's running that week, whatever we get running, I'm going to have some fun on.
Yeah.
Hey, Carson, we had a listener question. Sportin' Wood wants to know, he says, I have a question for CB910. How does the BRC 500 compare to the CR 500?
So the BRC 500, it basically feels like a modern 500 engine, like what you would think it would be, because it's got a counterbalancer, and so it's really smooth, and it goes straight into the YZ250 two-stroke chassis. So it's got no vibration. It feels like a really fast YZ250 two-stroke. Has kind of a cool power band, almost like a 450. It's really fun to ride because you can go really fast on it. The CR500, there's a cool element in that too, because they're shaky, they're vibrating, they don't handle the best. So that's like a cool element with those, because, you're riding an old school 500, whereas the BRC, it's totally modern. It's fun because of that. So I think that's the funnest 500 I've ever ridden, the BRC. And we've got a bunch of cool stuff that we're still planning on doing with that bike.
Hell yeah. So I asked our Vital forum for questions for you, and I'm going to go through some of these before I get to my questions, because a lot of their questions are the same, and I feel I'll give them credit instead of myself. But Felipe747 says, it has been a few years since we saw you race, it feels like. Why haven't we seen you racing any Supercross or motocross, and do you have any plans to try to race professionally in the future?
Yeah, so we did the Washougal National two-stroke last year. That was kind of the last, Supercross, motocross type race I've done. If it lines up right, I definitely want to do a couple of Supercrosses in the future. That's what's cool with the Red Bull thing, is they're like, if everything lines up right, heck yeah, go do this. It'll be cool. Either way, we'll be at Washougal National again this year. Don't know what bike I'll be on. Maybe another outdoor or so. But as far as how gnarly it is to prepare for one of those, like you can't just go, I'm going to race a Supercross this weekend. You'll just go in there and get hurt. It's going to take some preparation, at least for myself. But it's definitely something that's cool, because I can go over there and still race and have fun doing that. And definitely planning on doing some more of those in the future. Definitely not, done doing that stuff.
Okay. Yak651 says, do you wrench on all the bikes in your videos?
So as far as wrenching goes, there is a ton of that goes on behind the scenes to make this stuff go. And a bunch of these old bikes, it's tricky to keep them running. But I do a bunch of wrenching on them. My dad, he's a magician when it comes to making these old bikes run and making parts and welding frames back together, spoken wheels. He's super good with it. And racing, sometimes we'll get a mechanic to help him and all that fun stuff. But he's the real mastermind behind the scenes making this stuff happen. I can do a lot of it, but as far as hard stuff goes, he's really good with it.
Sandberm656 says, Carson, I can't get enough of you riding old two strokes. He wants to know, how hard is it for you guys to source parts for these old bikes? And you kind of touched on this a little bit, but does your dad have machinist welder skills?
So as far as parts-wise goes, it can be really tricky. Like, let's say you break a power valve on a really old two-stroke. They're tricky to find. Sometimes we can't find them anywhere, new. So we got to go on eBay or Euro eBay, whatever that's called, and kind of search around, get it all sorted out. And it can be tricky because sometimes the parts just don't exist. And, we're hopping on a machine, making it happen, milling it out and basically taking a block of aluminum and making it into whatever we're trying to find. And that's really cool, because my dad and my uncle are really, really good at doing that kind of stuff. So that definitely brings a whole nother element into it. And makes it possible to get some of this old stuff going.
Absolutely. Yeah, your builds are amazing. One more of these forum questions. MX Addict says, when going from the big bike to the little bike, is there a specific adjustment you make, or do you just ride the same technique?
Sends it, bro.
Yeah, it just sends it.
Either way, on the little bike, it's a lot about momentum. It's line choice, whereas a 450 or something, you can go into the corner and blip the throttle, still make the jump no matter what. Whereas the little bike, you case the jump, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So it's a lot about momentum and line choice and flowing on the bike. If you're not feeling good on that bike and you make a mistake on a little one, it's gonna be not so good. But definitely, I've been pretty lucky on being able to kind of switch it up from little to big and all that, kind of grown up racing pit bikes. It definitely made it easier for me to swap back and forth, but it's not easy.
Yeah, I bet not.
Hey, Carson. Okay, before I ask you my next question, I wanted to tell you that I'm from Washington State. My parents, you've met my brother, Jason and Colton Moe at Riverdale, and they're huge sponsors for Moto Pacific, so I just wanted to put that out there. Anywho, for my next question, you want to tell me what's been your funniest crash?
Oh, funniest crash. Definitely some of the stuff we do off-road.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're up, you'll be on a hill and trying to start the bike and you're tilted and you'll fall down the other way and your bike will go tumbling and you're doing the walk of shame down the hill trying to get the bike. It's definitely those types of crashes where it's like something that should have been really easy and then goes really bad and everybody's laughing at you, and it's always the ones that like aren't on video either. And you're
you got lucky.
It's definitely have some funny ones up in the woods.
Yeah.
That just made me think. The bike I have now has one of those recluse clutches where it's like basically like an automatic. And the first time I rode it, like at a track, it was like an organized practice. We were like down in the chute, everybody can see you, and I thought it was in neutral, but it was in gear. And I went to go warm it up, and I like took out like two dudes in front of me and like fell off the back. Like I wasn't even on the track yet.
Yeah. I think mine has to be because you talked about off road and the walk of shame with this year when I went into high des with Kiefer.
Yeah.
And Kiefer had me try to go up this hill that I could not get up, and I had a literal temper tantrum. I threw my goggles.
That was awesome.
Yeah, Kiefer got it all the GoPro, and he's like, "You're okay, you got it." And I said, "No, Kiefer, I don't got it. I'm done." I just sat down on the hill and said, "I'm done. I quit." So yeah. Did you have another one?
Yeah, Carson. So I was able to catch I watched on YouTube the Glen Helen two-stroke nationals, and dude, you and the battle between you and Justin Head in that second moto was probably one of the best races I've seen in a long time. Just talk about how gnarly that was, how that on the edge you guys were riding, and just that whole experience.
Yeah, so that was a super fun race. I got to ride that RMZ chassis with the KTM 300 engine. So the bike was really cool. Getting to dial that in, we didn't have a ton of time, but it was cool because it started with such a good base. And I was pretty comfortable on it being an aluminum frame. I'm an aluminum frame guy because I like it being stiff and consistent and not flexing everywhere. And first moto was good, kind of got out front, did my thing. And to be completely honest, that second moto, I was not ready for him to be that gnarly and on edge going for it. We got out there and I didn't make any bike adjustments for a second moto. I was just like, this is, it's going to be good. I got this. And RV hole shot and was pinned. And so was Justin. I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. I'll get behind Justin here and see if he can make a mistake. And I sat there and we were 15 minutes into the motor. And I was like, man, this guy hasn't made a single mistake. Like, I was like, I better turn it up and try and make a move. I turned it up and then he turned it up. And then we both made a couple little mistakes, but I couldn't get around him. He was riding so well. He got that place dialed. Those second motos are always tough for me there when the track gets rough because I just don't know that place super well, and I just was pinning it, just trying to make it work, making every wrong line, trying to make it work.
Yeah. Well, Scotty mentioned the YouTube videos and stuff, and recently, the last few, the era videos, Every Rider Anywhere videos, you did the one with Ken Roxon, the one with Ryan Villapoto. Have those been some of the most popular videos you've done? And does it feel a little surreal to be battling these legends in these 3-lap races?
Yeah, definitely. Super different than anything else I've ever done. And it's cool because we kind of get those guys out of their element, not a serious race mode or anything. We're just out there having fun with each other, riding cool bikes, whether it's old or new or an 85 or vintage. We've got some cool ones coming up here that you guys are going to enjoy too. But the Ken Roxon one was cool because he rode the 85 and he rode it really well and hopped right on it. And it was really cool to watch what he looks like in his element, right in his place, like where his happy place basically. And I didn't know what it was going to be like if he wanted to do that for sure or not. And he was out there and he was stoked and all for it. So that was really cool of him. And then, we did the Seth Dennis one on the Super Minis. That was fun just to kind of see, where we kind of stacked up on all that stuff. And the coolest one for me was the RV one because he showed up. He'd never ridden a WR500, obviously. And he hopped on that thing and went so fast. The video doesn't do it any justice. He hopped on that thing, literally did a lap of practice on it, and he's like, all right, I'm just going to throw down before I get too scared of this thing. He didn't adjust the bars. He didn't set the sag. He didn't adjust a single thing on either of those bikes and threw down hard. And I was like, man, this guy, you could see the sheer talent that he did. Like the video doesn't do it any justice.
Dude, you guys launching like the WR500. I guess, was that like a backside of a berm you were landing off that one jump where you were just, I don't know. It was insane that what you were doing with you and RV. And then, well, on that WR, I also felt like the chain looked a little loose, man.
Yeah. So he went out there and he threw down his first lap and we were all sitting there jaw dropped and somebody pointed out the chain. He landed so hard that the chain adjusters, which are kind of like the scroll ones on those, they bent and shifted out. And so the wheel went all the way forward in the chain. I don't know how it didn't come off.
Yeah.
It was so loose. And, we were sitting over there with a hammer in between his shots, getting those chain adjusters bent back in place, and he was just sitting there shaking his head like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But he went for it anyways. I give him credit.
Yeah, when he pulled off the first one, I just caught a glimpse, and it looked like the bottom under the swing arm, the thing was almost touching the ground. Like that thing looks like it's about to fall off. And my other critique of these era videos is that little short guy with a stopwatch. Man, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if I trust that guy, the Daniel Blair guy.
He takes a lot of crap, but there is we are running lit pros, so
okay.
There's no shenanigans going on behind the scenes with him because I'm always like, hey, you better be getting those lap times right. But we've got the lit pros on to make dead sure.
Okay, all right, cool.
Oh, so it's just a front. That's funny.
Well, no,
I know, but yeah. It's dude. Like every time I've watched those eras videos, and y'all are on, especially when y'all are on the smaller bikes, I'm like, no way is this thing going to make it to the end of these. Like,
I didn't think the WR500 was going to make it.
Or when him and Roxon were on those 85 or that old 125 with RV. Like there's no way that they make it. And also I was the track that you and RV did on. I thought that was bad until I saw this one that Kiefer and Steve just did for the challenge they just did. Yeah. So that was funny.
Yeah, it's been cool. Getting the bikes to keep going for these guys is definitely a nail biter, but luckily we've had pretty good luck so far. I mean, the RV chain thing, that was a little scary, and the RM85, we're sitting there like, it should be good, but I beat those things all the time at the house, and I've had pretty good luck with them, luckily.
What's been your most favorite memory of riding these little pit bikes around and these big bikes?
For sure, the best memories I've got are riding XR100s with buddies. I again, like riding in the woods, those are all the best times because it gets everybody kind of out of their element a little bit. Everybody's risking it a little more. There's funny crashes and all that. Those are all definitely the best memories. Best race memory, straight rhythm in the 125 class. That was a really good day. Just kind of for everything going on behind the scenes, like making those bikes run last second. It was carnage getting that all to go behind the scenes. So winning that one was pretty cool. But those are probably the best memories.
Carson Brown tonight, brought to you by FXR. Just a couple more for you. Kind of sticking with that same line of questioning. You mentioned there's some other cool videos. I think some other era videos, it sounds like, coming up. But I'd like to know what a bucket list event is that you'd like to do. And if you could do a video with any rider alive on any bike at any location, what would it be?
All right. Bucket list event. And this one's actually happening. I've always wanted to do Ayresburg since I was a little kid. I've seen it. And I was like, it looks so gnarly.
Because it is.
Yeah, and just pushing the bike and grinding it out. There's something about that looks like fun to me, just suffering. And we're doing that this year. So
awesome.
I'm excited for that. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm probably gonna cry multiple times up on that mountain.
Yeah, I think you have the speed to qualify well, though. So as long as you're in that first row, it should be manageable. Maybe, like, I don't know if manageable is the word, but
either way, it's going to be carnage, and that's kind of my element. I like to send it a little bit. So even if I'm just sitting there in a rock section burning out, I'm still gonna be having fun. And then as far as dream rider, dream location for an air shoot, definitely James Stewart, KX 125. That would be the dream situation. And if that could ever go down, it'd be amazing. I don't know if it ever could, but at least riding just pit bikes with him for fun, not even doing an air thing. That would be pretty cool just to have fun with him.
For sure.
That's a lot of smoke to ask for, Carson.
I bet James would do that.
Yeah.
I think James would.
Dude, and
they're both Red Bull athletes, right?
Yeah, that would actually be interesting because he can still rip on one of those 125s.
Yeah, I bet he would.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe that's maybe that was what he was hitting at when there's some cool things coming.
Oh yeah. Well, I think he said he's going to do Ayresburg, and I don't.
But before that, when we were talking about eras, he said there's some more cool things coming with that. So maybe he's teasing us.
Stay tuned, right?
You got another one?
Oh,
I'd be all for it, James.
Yeah,
James, if you're listening, let's make it happen, man.
Of course he's listening. He's listening. Come on. Okay, I just got a couple more for you then before we let you go. I'm always a big, like Kiefer, about home life, and at the Verb Classic this last year, Daniel Blair's Next Level 101, I got to hang out with you and your lovely wife, Claire, and she rides and she does a lot of the videos for you. I have to imagine it's really cool to be able to go through this incredible life you've created for yourself, doing what you love and having the person you love be with you through every moment and enjoy it with you. That has to be one of the best feelings you have.
Oh, it's definitely a dream. It's definitely a full family effort around here. My dad, he does BBR Motorsports, and so he's around dirt bikes all day, and he'll come back here and help me keep everything going, which is super fun. And he's so passionate about it, and it's pretty crazy because, like, I sit here and think, and I was just like, I wonder who likes dirt bikes to this point level. And then I look over and I see my dad. He's out there, early in the morning, late at night, still doing it, and he has fun. Not just the riding, but working on it. And then Claire, she's the same way. She just absolutely loves riding dirt bikes, and she makes so much of this stuff happen behind the scenes as far as the filming goes, and she's talking to sponsors and making deals happen and booking flights and pretty much all the hard, nasty stuff. She is going straight for it and making it happen, which is definitely a dream. And my mom is out here making stuff happen. She'll do videos and help me work on bikes, and she was always taking me to the track when I was younger, helping me out, and for all the amateur races and everything. So it's definitely a full family effort, and it's a dream, and we're going to keep this thing going as long as we can.
Awesome, man. It's really cool to see the career you've made for yourself. And I really appreciate you having some time for us. My last question, I'm going to put you on the spot. Salt Lake City this weekend, 250 showdown. Who you got east, who you got west?
Man, it's so, that's such a hard pick. I don't want to be biased. I mean, I would love to see Levi, win the East-West shootout. He's a Northwest boy. Love him. So I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say Levi overall. I want to see him win this thing.
Yeah, I'm torn in that group because I like Levi. I like RJ. I told Levi at Nashville, I said, man, just let the old man have one. You got years to go still, man. Give RJ his shot. He's like, no. All right, cool.
Yeah. I mean, RJ's an awesome guy. Love him too. I mean, they're both such awesome guys and both passionate for the sport. So, either way, I mean, the 250 class right now is stacked top to bottom, especially for an East-West shootout.
I agree. It's going to be exciting. But again, Carson, thank you so much for having some time for us tonight. It's a pleasure to finally get a chance to get you on the show.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Have a good night. Tell the family I said hi.
Will do. Thanks.
All right. See ya. Thanks to Carson Brown and FXR for bringing him on. We're down to our last two segments. Caitlin, how you feeling so far?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you enjoying it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've been learning a lot.
Good. All right. Scotty, we're going to jump into the ProX highs and lows. ProX is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro Yamaha, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years. From complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets, ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. You can find ProX at your local dealer or visit prox-usa.com and search for parts for your bike. ProX highs and lows. Who wants to go first? Okay, I'll go. All right. My highs are RJ and Levi tied going into this final round. Joe winning a race, his first race of the season, getting it done. And our practice at Swan. You and I get in a battle a little bit and have some fun and chase out there shooting and just, again, feeling like I'm finally getting comfortable on that bike. I felt like I was riding fairly well. So those are my highs. What'd you think of my riding? So
we were sitting down on I think it was for the second practice, and I was like, all right, because I know that you have,
I remember
you're troll training, you got stamina. I know you're in the best shape. You're in the best shape of your life. Like,
I was a little better last year, but okay. Well, but I'm there. I know what you're saying.
These last couple of years, you're probably in more shape than you were in your.
I'm probably in better
20s.
shape than I was. Yes, when I was young.
Yeah. Okay. So I was like, all right, So I know that you had stamina on me, but over the years of riding, I knew that I should have the speed on you. So I wanted to see how long. Like, I just wanted to ride behind you and just see how long I could run your pace. And then we started going, and I was like, oh dang, I kind of have to try to keep up with him. I can't just cruise behind him. So I was trying, and then I got tired pretty quick trying to do this. But the second time we went out, I was able to get around you, whether we were going to argue about what corner it was in, but that was fun, man. It was cool. You put it in on me and tried to
rephrase that, please.
I didn't say you put it in me. I said you put it in on me. and anyways, you tried to T-bone me. Is that better?
Yes, I did try to. I just wanted you to back out, and you didn't really.
No, I didn't. That when you did that, I was chuckling under my helmet. It was fun. So it was good times. I think
had it been TJ, I would have taken him out.
TJ would have done it to me too.
I would have sawed his front wheel off.
See, I'm just nice. I wouldn't do that to you old guys. But yeah,
I had
a good time. I'm gonna say that riding this weekend at Caitlin's facility was one of my highs.
I'm not done. Can I finish?
Well, I agree with you on highs.
Okay. My other high was taking Hattie to see the Foo Fighters last week. Soon as that was over, 3-hour set, unreal.
Yeah.
Soon as they're done playing, Hattie's like, more concerts. I was like, all right.
She's in.
Yeah. Which I knew she was anyway. She's super stoked about getting to go see Korn and Slipknot.
Yeah.
My 14-year-old stepdaughter. So she was.
Do you know who those bands are?
No. No idea.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Country.
The Doors right there. We'll see you later.
Yeah, Darkside doesn't like country.
Well, anyway, yeah. So she was super stoked. That was my highs. My low was Hunter not winning the main event. Come on, Jet. Let your brother win.
He's not gonna get to 72 wins letting Hunter around him, letting Hunter win, bro.
There for a little bit, I was like, Hunter's gonna win this thing. Like Hunter's good, and then
do you think that if Jason Anderson had not started to close the gap, that he would have stayed behind him? Or
I kind of do.
I mean, I don't know.
I kind of do.
He wasn't in the position to put a full race, 25 points in front of Cooper. So like,
it's 2 points, man.
I know,
it's 2
but
points. He's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have regretted it if he lost by 2 points next weekend. But I was bummed. I was bummed. That's my low.
But I also like the stand that who says Hunter wants to win like that.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want it given to him. No, absolutely not. He wouldn't have wanted that.
I like looking at that.
But I still wanted him to win. And then Swan raining out Sunday. I did say I was tired.
Blessing in
I
disguise.
I wanted to sleep in, but at the same time, once the weather got nice that day, I was like, damn it, we could be racing right now. So that's my highs and lows.
Let Caitlin go.
Caitlin?
All right.
You don't have to have that many.
Okay. For my lows was the rain out.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a big bummer. And then I just started a summer class for my senior year. And then
is that a high or a low?
That's a low.
Okay.
That's a low.
It's a high and a low, right?
Yeah, not excited about that. And then my high is my podcast logo just got finished, and now we're working on getting my video logo set up. So one step closer to starting up my YouTube channel. So I'm really excited about that. And then I just signed a deal for doing modeling. So
good for you.
Nice. I'm very excited about that. And then also being asked to be on here today. So that was the very big high.
Thanks for that, but I don't know if that's exactly a high. But
no, it is though.
Hanging out being dark is not a
high. Cool. Good job, Scotty.
Cool. My high was, we already said, I stole your thunder. I was riding this weekend.
Oh, that's fun.
I guess, I don't know. I guess the rain was a low. And then I thought that, I'll say this is my low. I really thought that as good as the 250 class race was, I really thought that there was going to be more fireworks. Like I thought Kitchen would push up and battle Joe for the lead and RJ would catch them. So I wanted to see a little more dicing it up.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot of lows, so I'll take that as my low.
All right. Well, good job. Again, MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. If you guys have highs and lows you want to send in, we can read them next week. I don't know what the date. I think Scotty or TJ will be back next week. So that should be good. Glad to have that idiot back.
Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot. Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
Exactly. I hate that I can't use that because he's not here. So we're just going to use it randomly. Okay, EVS Picks for Salt Lake City for the podium. Over the past 39 years, EVS Sports has established itself as a leader in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today's motocross riders. Athletes like RJ Hampshire, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norrin, Axel Hodges, and Travis Pastrana all wear EVS when they race, ride, or whatever Travis decides to do that day. Check out EVS-sports.com and use the code VITALMX30 to save. You can check out the new Access Web Eclipse knee braces, which I tried this week for a few motos. There's the Slayco 96 knee guards. Those things are awesome for pit bikes or even the TP 199 knee guards. I love those. And I always talk about the Tug technical undergear shirts and basically riding shorts or boxers. I love those when I'm working out. So EVS, check them out. Scotty, who are your picks for the 450 class? Salt Lake City. And then I also want...
Let's do 250 since it's the one that actually...
We're going to get them both. So I actually want your winners for the champion for East, West, and 250s, plus your podium 450.
First of all, the chat's lows, where's that table didn't get his socks.
You know what? Tay, Bill, Jam. There is a website, flyracing.com or whatever. You can get some socks anywhere you want.
Hey, you owe the man something.
Bro, by the way, for the Vital Index fantasy winners, you got to be in the continental lower 48 states. We've had some winners out of state, and it is way too expensive to ship stuff. I'm sorry. Anyway, all right, 450 picks first.
So 450 picks for the winner of the race or the championship?
Yeah, the winner of the race.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Hunter.
Okay, I like it.
Just to be different.
Okay.
And then what am I picking now?
The podium for the 450s.
Oh, the full podium.
Same as always.
Hunter, Jet, Tomac.
Wow, so disrespectful.
what?
To Chase.
Oh yeah, Chase probably in there. I don't know. I
Just
just
look how good he was this last week. If he had tucked the front end a couple times.
I think Tomac needs a rebound.
Lewis already hates you. It doesn't matter. All right, who's your 250 West winner?
The champion 250 West, which was okay. I'm gonna go with RJ. That's who I want.
I know. I do. I
love Levi too. Levi's great. Like I think, like I really like him as a rider and personality and everything. But
I got
RJ's.
I know.
RJ needs one.
East, Vial, or Hayden, pretty much.
Yeah, Vial's got it. I think.
Yeah, I think
unless something just stupid happens.
Yep.
Which I mean, it's a showdown, so it could.
Anything could happen. All right, Caitlin, you're still not completely familiar with all that.
Yeah.
So you did tell me who you think is going to win the race, though.
Yes, Jet Lawrence.
So Jet Lawrence is your winner. Which means he will be the champion.
Mm-hmm. So that's a revelating pick there.
She went out on a limb.
Yeah.
She went out on a limb. All right, I want to thank both of you.
I get thanks. Well, it's just because she's here.
Right, I want to thank you, Caitlin, for being in.
Yeah.
I want to thank Nate Thrasher, Vinny Luhovey, and Carson Brown. I want to thank our sponsors, our presenting sponsors, Race Tech and Yamaha Motor USA, along with Guts Racing, FXR, X Brand, ProX, EVS Protection, Troll Training, Evans Coolant, Blood Lubricants, Barnett Clutches, all our listeners. Anything else before we go from either of you? Any thoughts?
No.
So you had a good time?
I did. It was awesome.
All right. Well, follow her on our social. Other than that, we're out.